Good morning, everyone. How is everybody doing? This is Calvin Butler with the RBBS Logistics Learning Center, and we are here at the Booking Freight from Home show here in Tallahassee, Florida at 2915 Sierra Road. Come on down and join us. This is our broadcast studio, as you all can see. So come on down and join us here at 2915 Sierra Road. If you are in the Tallahassee, North Florida, South Georgia area, you're welcome to come down here every Saturday morning from 10:15 to 1:15. Eastern Standard Time, and bring your laptop, bring your cell phone, and we will show you how to book freight free of charge and put you on to being able to book freight from home and earn a pretty good living, if I do say so myself. So today we're going to be going over some stuff today, and today's topic is going to be going over some new stuff that's in our back office. We're also going, matter of fact, let's go to Facebook and see what today's topic is going to be, because we did put it out. And today, our topic is, all right, tools and resources, new tools and resources, locating semi-dedicated, good paying freight, and negotiating decent load fees for your carriers. Also today, using private load boards to secure decent paying freight, okay? So that's what today's topic is going to be. So let's make sure we try to stay on topic. So that is going to be today's topic. We do have some people here with us on Facebook. There they are. Hey, everybody on Facebook. Appreciate y'all for joining us. We are broadcasting live on Facebook. We're on some different groups on Facebook. I want to welcome the people, our group members from the freight brokers, trainers, and instructors. Welcome y'all from that group. I want to welcome the group from All Truckers United. How y'all guys doing? Appreciate you all joining us. I want to welcome the groups from the Social Media Load Board and from the Legitimate Home Business and Legitimate Work from Home groups. We want to welcome you all as well as our regular group, the RBBS Logistics Learning Center. Hi guys, appreciate y'all joining us. All right, let's do our roll call. Right. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody so we can do our roll call here real quick. All right, today in the house we have someone from the 843 area code. Thank you for joining us. We have someone from the 901 area code. We have Mr. Davis Monty Lynn. How you doing? Thank you for joining us. We have Mr. James Nelson. Hey James, how you doing? Appreciate you.
Good morning, Mr. Butler.
As well. We have PHS Logistics. Thank you for joining us. Preston Charles. Thank you. Appreciate you coming back. McAllister Law Firm. Hey, McAllister Law Firm. We haven't had you all here before, but appreciate you all coming in. We have PPJWAA. Thank you for joining us. We have Alfredo Proctor. How you doing today, Mr. Alfredo? Did I pronounce that right?
Alfredo.
Okay. Well,
good morning, Mr. Calvin.
I'm just screwing up name.
That's okay. It's early.
We have Al. Thank you for joining us. We have Mr. Charles Mundy, the infamous one, the great one, Charles Mundy. We have Denise Brackett. Thank you for joining us again. We have Desmond. Thank you for joining us. If y'all look, if I screw these names up, don't put me in front of my firing squad. Okay. We have Elizabeth. Elizabeth is new. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you joining us. I know you probably watched our videos. I think this is your first time with us live, or just your second time, if I'm not mistaken.
This is my first time.
We have Mr. James Nelson. We have Kevin in the house. We have Linda McCoy in the house. We have Lynn Davis in the house. And we have Toon is returning. Toon joined us last week. He has done a lot of great questions. I think he's going to do just fine if he keeps his head on us, so he keeps doing what he's doing. I want to congratulate Mr. James Jordan. Mr. James Jordan is getting off to a great start. He got a load booked and invoice sent out to his carrier and ready to get paid. It was a pretty good load, by the way, as a matter of fact. Mr. Jordan, I don't know if you're here today, but if you are, I think that load was paying about, what, it was like $3,300 on the load fee, and your stuff was somewhere around like $330-some or something like that, so pretty good load. But let's get started, all right? We're going to go over here to our page. Let me go ahead and mute everyone again so we can get started. We won't have this background noise. All right. Now remember, on Facebook, if you want to join us, there's a link in the comment section where you all can join us on Facebook, where y'all can join us live in our presentation software, which is a freeconferencecall.com. It's right there in your comments. So if you scroll down or scroll up, you'll see it. If you want to join us live to be able to see what I'm seeing and what I'm presenting and how it's being presented to our members of the National Dispatchers Network. But all members of the National Dispatchers Network, they come here every Saturday to learn more about how to navigate our back office, which they have access to, and how to book freight and how to find loads and how to make this an easier process for them to earn money. But if you want to join us in that manner, do so, because remember, on Facebook, you all have a bird's eye view. You can't really see what we're doing. You can just kind of see what's being broadcasted. Hopefully we'll get a few of you all to come down and join us here in Tallahassee. If you're in the Tallahassee area, come down and join us here. Again, 2915 Share Road. Every Saturday, come to the main clubhouse. Signs are on the door. Come on in, knock on the door, come on in, sit down, and we'll show you how to book freight and become part of the program every Saturday. All right, we have some questions up real quick. Charles Monday says, morning all. Charles Monday with Dispatcher one-on-one training for beginners. Charles is hoarse because he's been giving classes all week. You know, and for those of you who don't know, Charles Monday was one of our star pupils. But he didn't start out as a star pupil. But he became one of our star pupils because he finally got with the program, and next thing you know, he was booking all kinds of freight, being very busy. He's laughing right now. But for those of you at home who can't see our screen, he is laughing at me right now. But he started our program, of course. I tell this story all the time, so y'all probably know it. A lot of y'all that are used to seeing the show, you're probably like, man, you ever get tired of talking about Charles Monday? I tell it because he's a perfect example of what not to do and what to do at the same time. Because when he first came to our program, and he made a great commitment, by the way. He took 90 days off from his job. He saved up his money. He took a 90-day sabbatical. He calculated on what his bills should be for the next 90 days. And he looked at what we had because he recognized that there was something there. So he took 90 days from his job, and he committed to it fully for 90 days. And I remember when he joined up, he told me, he said, Calvin, I can't get this and do it in 90 days. It's not for me. I said, fair enough. He came on board. He learned the system. He went out there. He started contacting carriers. Now, for about the first 31 days, Charles Monday was contacting, I think he told me he was contacting almost 200 carriers per day. And he called me up on day 31. He said, Calvin, this ain't working for me. I don't know what it is. It's just not working for me. He says, he just texted on, he said it was 175. He was contacting, he told me, I'm reaching out and contacting about 175 carriers every day, and nobody signed up. I said, Charles, that's not possible. He said, well, I'm telling you, I contact 175 carriers every day, and nobody is signing up. I said, well, what are you saying to them? Are you hitting them with the pitch? He said, yeah, I'm sending them the pitch. I go, okay, what do you mean you're sending them the pitch? You're not pitching the pitch to them? I mean, what are you saying to them? Oh, I'm not talking to them. I'm just sending them an email. And I said, okay, that's problem number one. Because, and I politely said, well, Charles, you can't convince people by an email. I mean, when was the last time you bought something from an email? I say, when you're trying to convince people to use your service and you want to sell them on you, you've got to call them up and they've got to hear the commitment in your voice. And you got to pitch that pitch the way I know you know it, because you do know it, because you have said it back to me verbatim and you do a great pitch, but they got to hear that. I said, I'll tell you what, try calling those same 175 carriers, the ones you just sent everything got to. Try calling some of those guys back. Try it my way for a week or two, and let's see what happens. He said, okay, I'll try it, but I'm telling you, I think by sending the emails out, that's a good way of doing it because I can reach more. I understand you can reach more people, but how has that been working for you so far? He said, it hasn't. I said, exactly. So, the very next morning, I got a call from Charles Monday. The very next morning. Now, Charles is telling me right now I'm giving carriers away. He got so many of them. The very next morning, Charles Monday called me back. It wasn't even 24 hours. It was about 11 a.m. He said, Calvin, guess what? I said, what? He said, I just signed up 7 carriers. And trust me, he has not looked back since. He went from that to booking 3 loads to 4 loads to 10 loads to 12, almost 12 to 13 loads per day. Not per week, not per month, but per day. Now, to give you some perspective of how much money that is, I'm not gonna tell you how much money Charles is making now. I'm not gonna put his business out there, but I'm gonna give you some perspective. Okay, I book for 3 carriers, me personally. Now I have a dispatch firm that books freight for 317 carriers, but me personally, I book for just 3 carriers, and I book them 3 to 4 loads per week. 3 carriers, 3 to 4 loads per week. So I book about 10 to 12 loads per week, not per day like Charles Monday does. And I post my earnings on our Facebook page every month for my personal load bookings. And I'm always somewhere between $99,000, $10,000 to $16,000 every month on my personal load bookings. So with that being said, if y'all need some money, y'all call Charles Monday. Don't call me. Okay? Because you know that's where the money's at. But Charles said, no, don't call me. He put stuff on the screen now saying, no, don't call me. But that gives you, and I like to use him as an example because he has gone on to not just only booking freight, he started his own platform. And we've done something that no other freight broker training program or anything out there. If you've been trying to get involved with some type of freight broker training, logistics training, dispatch training program, you'll notice that there are 101, probably a couple of thousand individuals out there that have their own platforms. You can go to community colleges and you can take a freight broker training course. And they're all online. They're at community colleges. TCC has one. Now, they're expensive. They're going to run you somewhere between $1,800 and maybe $3,000 to $5,000, up to about $3,300 at a community college. If you're taking them online, you got some people that have them anywhere from $750 up to $5,000. Okay, but none of them work together. They all work separately. Okay, they all work separately, and they teach you, the things that they teach you: rules, regulations, terminology, and those types of things. Charles Monday, who is one of our students, started his own platform. Okay, Mr. Jason Summertag, one of our students, started his own platform. Mr. Elijah Washington, one of our students, also started his own platform. And all of us work in conjunction. We work collaboratively to form a huge network. And nowhere on the internet, nowhere else will you find 4 separate platforms that work in conjunction collaboratively with each other. Now, what do we mean by that? This platform gives you all the big stuff. This is the big picture. Okay, the National Dispatchers Network and the RBBS Logistics Learning Center, we give you the big picture. We plug you into all your tools, resources, load boards, scripts, and things like that. Teach you how to be a better salesperson. We give you a toll-free extension on 2 toll-free numbers, dedicated domain, email address, e-fax line. We give you access to a SIC code site where you can locate every shipper in the United States and connect with them. We give you access to a carrier acquisition site where you can locate and connect with every carrier in the United States. We tell you what to say to all of them by giving you a script. We give you a workflow and tell you how to get everything from point A to point B. We've added a logistics library, some of the stuff that we're going to go over today that explains all the terms and everything that has to do with trucking, freight brokering, or whatever case may be. We give you all your tools and your resources for $19.95 per month. And you pay a one-time enrollment fee of $349.95. Now, you can't get that anywhere else. Because if you were to do all that stuff by yourself, separately from us, you pay almost $1,000 a month, plain and simple. All right. Charles Mundy, his platform explains all the little stuff that we don't go, because we're the big picture. If you are a beginner and you've never been in trucking before, it is a great idea for you to get this platform and get his platform. Now, if you're with our platform, he gives you a big, huge discount. So does Jason Sonatag, so does Mr. Washington. And show you how we all work together. His platform goes into explaining all of the little stuff, and he really, really connects the dots. For those of you who are new to this industry and you have no idea what this industry is or what the terms are or anything like that, you're going to have to go, and you're going to have to go to the regular, you probably want to take his platform. If you take his platform, it's going to explain all of that. It's going to explain all the little stuff. What this means, what a reefer is, what a bike haul is, you know, all that little stuff. And he does spot training during the week, kind of like this right here, where you come in and do some spot training with him as well. Mr. Jason Sonatag, if you have a logistics, if you're coming into the logistics industry and you want to present yourself professionally, he has the logistics website already pre-formatted for you. Contact him and he will put you in and get your website up to look pretty much like what you see here. Very nice backgrounds, very, very impressive websites. And he gives you a huge discount for being with our platform. Mr. Williams, if you are not a professional salesperson, so you are not comfortable with calling and talking to people and presenting ideas to them and getting and pitching them and getting them signed up to your contract or your dispatch agreement, or calling shippers and getting them signed up, you can contact him, because his platform is a professional sales platform where he goes out and he makes those calls for you. I got some calls last night from some carriers for one of our platform members who didn't even know that the carriers were signed up with them, because they had contract with Mr. Washington to call and find them some carriers. So they were trying to get in touch with her last night, because Mr. Washington had did a great job at calling and getting those carriers signed up with her dispatch firm. So not only is this a great platform, but you are able to connect with 3 other platforms. We all work in collaboratively, blah, 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 together. And that's something you're not going to see anywhere else. On the internet, in community, nowhere. All the other freight broker trainers, they're out just working amongst themselves, and they're trying to get what they can get and do what they can do by themselves. What we want to do is we want to change the way this whole system works. We want to take the blinders off and take the covers off and show you everything about this industry, okay? And then provide you with all the tools, resources, support, and training you need for you to go out and make great money. All right. Now, with that being said, let's get started. All right. For those of you who are on with us on our conference line, go to mydispatcher.org. mydispatcher.org. I'm going to go ahead and put this on our Facebook page, so in case some of you are who are on Facebook, if you want to know where this is, where our group is, this is where we are, mydispatcher.org right now. So you can go to mydispatcher.org and you can see our non-membership areas of our site. Now, if you are not a subscription member, you're not going to be able to access the back office area of our site, which is where we're going to be going here in just a second. Okay? If you want to become a member, come to our site, stroll down, click right here on the very first page underneath the video that says to enroll, click here, and you can become a member. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and get into our back office. Now, we've got a lot of new things here. When you go to our page at mydispatcher.org, you're going to go over to Dispatcher Tools and Resources, or you're going to go to Logistics, the Logistics Library. Both those are password protected areas of our site. They're only for our subscription members. So if you click on either one of those, it's going to ask you to log in. Let's go ahead and cover some new stuff that we've got in the back office here real quick. Okay? Some of the new things that we have here, and it's showing you that it needs to log in. So we're going to click here to log in with email. And change this. Well, I changed my login a little bit. Let's go to info. All right, I think that'll get us in. Get my pointer to work here. All right, there we go. We're in. All right. If you all would notice, when you go to the, we got an area here in the back office now that is a new area, which is our trucking industry library. Okay, and it's under the more section under the logistics library. Now, anything you need to know about trucking is going to be in this library. It gives you links to glossaries, dictionaries, freight shipping, dictionary, logistics 101, and logistics blogs. Come down here, things of note. It gives you what are freight lanes, trucking news, the latest news on trucking is going to be right in there. How to profit from cheap freight is right in there. Lane density, and we're going to be adding more and more stuff as we go along. Okay. Anytime we come across anything that's going to be helpful, that's going to be informative, it's going to be added to this library. And to give y'all an idea of what this does, let's go over here where it says, what are freight lanes? Click on that, it's going to pop up and takes you right over to trucking, the trucking business community. What's a freight lane? And it goes in detail and tells you what freight lanes are. Okay? So, you know, and for those of you who don't know what freight lanes are basically dedicated areas or lanes for certain types of products and commodities, like refrigerated products, lumber, or whatever the case may be. And a carrier can sign on with a shipper or a broker or whoever it is has got those lanes, and they will run those lanes all the time. In other words, if like the one when I was a trucker, I ran a lane from Chicago, from Bainbridge, Georgia to Chicago, and then from Chicago back to Bainbridge, Georgia. It was to and from the same plant. And I ran those lanes every single week. I did that for about 8 months straight. Great lane, by the way. It was a load of peanuts from Bainbridge, Georgia, which is about 14 miles from here. From Tallahassee, 14 to 18 miles from here. So it was real convenient for me because I was always home every other weekend. Okay, so what I would do is I would go to Bainbridge, deadhead to Bainbridge. If you want to know what deadhead is, that's in the library too. I would deadhead to Bainbridge, and I would pick up a load of bushel peanuts. That's the peanuts that are in the bags. So they just pick them off the, off the vine or off the plant, off the ground, and they put them in the bags. All these big bags. So I would pick up a load of these bushel, the peanuts, about 36,000 pounds of peanuts, and I would take them to Chicago, or an area just outside of Chicago. I take 65, I take 231 to 65, 65 to 72, and bam, I'm right there. Took me about a day, and it took me about one driving shift, which is 11 hours, by the way. So I would drive for about 10 hours, then shut down, and then I would make the rest of the run. As a matter of fact, I could drive that in about 11 hours when I push straight through. I could drive that right at about 11 hours if I push straight through. Now, if I push straight through, I can do it right at 11 hours. And what would happen is I would get there after they shut down at night. But you could park there at the distribution center. So you can back up and park. So I would usually get there about 2 in the morning, something like that. Especially like if I ran, what it was is if I picked the load up early in the morning, let's say 6 a.m., okay, and I drove for about 9 hours, and what I would do what's called a split shift. And this is how I would do it. I would do a split driving shift. I would drive for about 9 hours, then I would shut down for 5 hours. And that gave me enough time to complete my run. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about driving, don't know how to do the split shift, I knew how to work that clock. I knew how to work the clock. Okay, I really knew how to work the clock. But anyway, I would drive for about 9 hours or 8 hours. I drive my 8 hours, then you got a half-hour break. What I would do after that 8 hours, I would shut down. I would go in the sleeper for about 5 hours. And that would give me about 4 more hours of driving time, about 4 or 5 more hours of driving time after that 5 hours. Now, I would get right back up and take off. Now by this time, it's what? It's about 1 o'clock in the morning, or 10 o'clock at night, or 11 o'clock at night, or 9 o'clock at night, or whatever the case may be, because I've driven and I've shut down at about 2 o'clock, 2, 3 o'clock. Then I shut down for about 5 hours, from 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6, 7, 7, 8. So at 8 o'clock, I was back up and heading back out. So I would get to the actual plant at about 11, 12 o'clock, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning. But I could park right there. So I park, go in the sleeper. Get up the next morning, right? I'm still in the sleeper. Because as long as your truck is not moving more than 6, 7 miles an hour, more than 10 miles an hour, it's not going to start your clock. So what I would do is I would stay in sleeper, and then that morning, I would go up to the gate, sign in, and then creep my truck in about 5 miles an hour, so it doesn't start my clock. I'm still in the sleeper mode. I creep my truck in, back up to the door, and unload while I'm still in sleeper. So my sleeper clock is still running. So my sleeper time is still running. So by the time they unload me, it takes them about sometimes an hour, sometimes it takes them 2 or 3 hours. But they got me unloaded, all right? I'm back, then I still in the sleeper. I creep back out to the front part of the gate, sign back in to go pick up a load of the bottled and canned peanuts, the ones that were packaged up already. And mind you, I'm still in the sleeper. So then I creep back in, go to the other side of the plant, back up, and they load me with the package, the finished product. And they load me up, and then I come out of sleeper, and I take off and head where? Back to Bainbridge. So it usually would take me to run a load up 1 full shift, but it was broken up into 2 driving shifts almost. It was like a shift and a half, right? So if I left on a Monday morning, I would get there early Tuesday morning and be into the plant to back up to pick up my load on Tuesday morning, and I'm leaving on Tuesday morning, coming back down to what's called. And I would get there Tuesday night in Bainbridge, but instead of going to Bainbridge, I would go where? Home. And go to sleep. And then get up next morning and roll into Bainbridge and do what? Drop my load. And then do it all over again. Now, I can only do 3 runs like that per week, but they were paying $2,250 going up and $2,450 coming back down. It was about an 890-mile run. Okay? So $2,450 going up, $2,250 going up, $2,450 coming back down. So 1 week I would do $2,250, $2,450, $2,250. Then I would spend the weekend here in Tallahassee. The next week I do $2,450, $2,250, $2,450. And I spend the weekend in Chicago. And that's how it ran for about 8 to 9 months. That is an example of a dedicated lane, for those of you who didn't know what a dedicated lane was. That's an example of a dedicated lane. So for all of our new students who didn't know what dedicated lanes were, I just gave you a perfect example of a dedicated lane. That was a perfect dedicated lane because it was dedicated there, dedicated back. Now, subsequently, that is also the perfect example of a sub-dedicated lane or a semi-dedicated lane. Why? Because I was not contracted. I was not under any contract. As long as I showed up every morning at the plant in Bainbridge, and I had a clean trailer and a clean truck, and they checked my driver's license and everything, so each time you come in, they check all that stuff, they make sure you're okay. As long as you clear, they would load you. You didn't need a contract. You didn't need a contract. All you had to do was just contact the broker, and I believe that was through Warner. That was through a Warner broker. Because I had brokers that would find me loads, and I would contract, I would find my own loads by using brokers and using dispatchers. I paid my own dispatcher. So, but that was through a Warner deal. Where I got with the Warner broker, he said, I said, do you have any dedicated freight? Yeah, I got this load that runs out of Bainbridge all the time. You can have it. Bam, there it is. No contract, nothing to sign, nothing like that. As long as they ran your truck and your truck cleared, you was good to go. And that was great money. Paid me about $5,000 a week, every week. That's after paying all of my expenses. Okay, fuel, truck costs, everything. About $5,000 a week. Okay, That's great money. And that should be the goal of every independent trucker. Okay, 4 to 5 grand per week or better. And you do that by putting them on sub-dedicated and finding them sub-dedicated freight. Now the question is, how do you find that type of freight? Okay, which goes into a little bit more about what our next part of our class is. Now, does anybody have any questions on what dedicated, semi-dedicated, and sub-dedicated freight is? If you have questions on what that is, let me know right now. Let me go to Facebook real quick, see if anybody is asking any questions. On Facebook, Freddie Mullins saying, "Good morning, Calvin. This is Freddie, and knock him dead. We doing our best, Freddie. You know how we do it." Okay, so Freddie's on Facebook. He's he commented some stuff there real quick. All right, but let's see who else we've got here. We got
Cal,
other
can
people.
you hear me?
Yeah, you got a question for me?
Yes, I do. So if you get someone on a dedicated lane like that, and you have them under contract, well, whether they're under contract with a company or not.
Okay, hold on. My mic is real low for some reason. I might need to put my headset on. I kind of didn't want to put my headset because I wanted the people on Facebook to be able to hear us, but y'all just might be out of luck today because I can't hear him. Okay.
Okay.
I should have bought my external mic, which is what I should have did. And next week I will make sure I do that. Hopefully they'll have that television set up and running for us to use it next week, and we won't have to worry about mics or anything. All right. Let's go here. Now, what was that question?
I was saying that if we find a dedicated lane like that for someone, whether they get a contract or not, and we have them on our agreement with them as a dispatcher for them, we still make whatever we charge at 10% or whatever we decide to charge them on that. We still get that, right, for every load they run.
Exactly. Now, the question he asked for those of you who are on Facebook, because you all can't hear us, you can't hear him. The question he asked was on dedicated freight, on sub-dedicated freight, or semi-dedicated freight. If you are the dispatcher that lands him on that load, if you find that load for one of your carriers and you are the dispatcher, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, our dispatchers, we recommend that you contract your carriers at 10% of the load fee. In other words, when you find your carrier's loads and you book them on it, they are going to owe you 10% of that fee. So that means on that $22.50, $24.50, whatever it is, it was $220 that I would have to pay my dispatcher and $240 on coming back for the loads that came back. So it was $220, $240, $220, or it was $240, $220, $240 is what I would have to pay that dispatcher. And what the question was, if as a dispatcher you set your carrier up like that, do you get paid on every load after that carrier runs on that subcontract or that sub dedicated freight? And the answer is yes, because you are the dispatcher. You're the ones who put him on that load, and that carrier is obligated to pay you each and every time they run that load. Okay? So you will invoice that carrier every time they run that load. You're gonna invoice that carrier, and you need to make that. You need to make sure your carrier understands that when you send them your dispatch agreement. Now you may want to add an addendum to your dispatch agreement. Everybody listen up. If you're planning on securing dedicated, sub-dedicated, or semi-dedicated freight, do what's called an addendum to your dispatch agreement. That is a separate side agreement that you send along with your dispatch agreement, which basically says something to the effect of, in the circumstance or happenstance that I am able to secure you dedicated lanes, sub-dedicated lanes, or semi-dedicated lanes. The foresaid dispatch fee of 10% applies to every run, every load, or every pickup and delivery, or every run that falls under that sub-dedicated, semi-dedicated, or dedicated lane contract circumstance or whatever it may be. You can find a way to word it. We'll probably put something together and put it in the back office so you all can have a copy of it. If you want to use it, you can use it. I'll make up a point to go ahead and get that done, and we'll have it in the back office as an addendum. Okay, but in the meantime, that's something that you can do yourself, really. Okay, and that would be an addendum to your dispatch agreement. Now, what does that do also? Oh, great question, by the way. I appreciate it. And by the way, who was it that asked that question?
The first question you talking about?
Yeah, and who asked that question?
Deshaun.
Okay, Deshaun, thank you. I appreciate it. That was a great question. Now, one of the other things that does when you do that addendum, okay, what else would that do? If you are a carrier, an owner operator, and you see an addendum to your dispatch agreement, and it's talking about dedicated, sub-dedicated, and semi-dedicated freight, that's kind of pushing your hot buttons, ain't it? That's kind of getting you kind of, I mean, you really start feeling your dispatcher at that point. I'll tell you this right now. When I was an owner operator, if my dispatcher sent me something that indicated that he or she was gonna try and find me some dedicated freight, guess what? I was looking at them kind of like, okay, I've been feeling this person. This person's got, they done piqued my interest now. It's only going to make you more valuable to that carrier. In their eyes, you are already solidifying yourself as someone who is totally different from all the other dispatchers out there. Because all other dispatchers, they're just worried about just trying to find your freight when they can find your freight. But here you are relaying to them that you're going to go to work and try to find some dedicated, sub-dedicated, and semi-dedicated freight. Okay, and that's music to every truck, to every owner operator's ears. Okay, so that accomplishes two things. It accomplishes establishing your residual income on those type of freight, and it builds the confidence of this new carrier you just signed up for them to have confidence in you. Okay, and that's very important. Okay, Desmond said he can't hear me. Desmond, can you hear me now? Anonymous says, does that addendum require a second signature? No, but you can put an initial thing on it for them to initial it. You can just put, please initial here and have them put their initials. But it does not require a second signature. Or yes, it can be built into the regular agreement. You can build it into the regular agreement as another section to the agreement. Okay. All right, and that's Abdullah. Okay, so the anonymous is Abdullah. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate those questions. Service announcement, Charles Mundy for our network members. If you want to take his platform, if you are one of our members, you can get his 3-for-1 deal. He has a 3-for-1 deal for $349. It's $349 for non-RBBS members. And 240 is and 2 for 3-1 good through whatever, and that's for non-members. Okay, for members is $149. It's $149 for members. So looks like a great deal for our members, and for the non-members you get 2-for-1 for $249 for non-members, and 2-for-1 offers good through 3/31 of 2019, so good through March 31st. And his 3-for-1 deal for non-members is $349, and that's good until March 31st. Now, when he say 3-for-1, he's talking about his ebook series. He has an ebook series that he puts out. Okay, each ebook he's doing them as a 3-for-1 package, but for members of our network. If you are a member of our platform, you're getting it for $149. Okay, that's a great deal. That is a great deal. Okay, and his series is a great series. If you are new to this industry, I do advise you add that to what you're doing with us. Look, the more knowledge you have, the more power you have. And when you know the ins and outs of this industry, when you know what you're doing, Okay, when you learn the script, when you know what all the terms mean, when you know how to apply all this stuff, that's knowledge and that's power. And that power gives you the power to control and dictate your own financial fate. Okay? If you don't know certain things about the industry or about anything you're doing, and not just this industry, this applies to anything you're doing, any career you go into, anything you go into. If you're not knowledgeable about your industry, you're not going to make as much money as the people who know more about it. Plain and simple. So you got to take the time out to learn your craft, learn your industry. Okay, I say this all the time. Take responsibility for your own success. Okay, take responsibility for your own success. And what I mean by that is, if you're going to do something, learn everything you can about it. Gather up the information, do the research, do your due diligence. You know, do the legwork, do the stuff that everybody else don't want to do. And trust me, you'll make a ton of money if you do that. And that's true in any type of industry. Okay? All right. Let's go into where to find this, or how to find sub-dedicated freight. Now, the best way to find sub-dedicated freight, we're going to go over here to our back office tools and resources area, dispatcher tools and resources. We're going to go over to the load boards. I'm here real quick. Let's get into our tools and resources area so we can get into the load boards. Here we go. Pull it up now. Now, if you're on Facebook and if you're on our page, if you're on our website, you're not going to be able to access this until you become a member. Okay, so you won't be able to access this during this broadcast. You'll be able to hear us talk about it, but you won't be able to access it. Now, if you want to see what we're doing, you can log on to our conference line and you can see you can see this back office if you log in to our live conference line. All right. So, how do you find the dedicated freight? How do you go about finding dedicated freight? Well, the best way to find dedicated freight, and believe it or not, is not by going directly to the shipper. It's not. It's by reaching out to brokers. Okay? And the best way to find dedicated freight is to start looking on some of the load boards. Okay? Especially some of these private load boards. Because if they're private load boards, chances are they're running that freight over and over and over and over again all the time. So it's going to be difficult to find dedicated freight on the public load boards, like 123, Truckers Pass. You'll find some stuff on there where you see the same load being run a lot. That's some sub-dedicated freight. Okay? But if it's on the load board, chances are everybody else is grabbing it already. So what you want to do is you want to connect with a lot of these private load boards. You notice that we have a lot of private load boards that we've loaded up into our back office. We have some new tools and resources here too on our tools side, some calculators and things like that. But let's go down here. Let's go down to the load boards. If you notice here, we've added a lot of new load boards to our Rolodex, to our load board Rolodex. Now, you still have access to the 9-1 free load boards, which you have to go and pull them up separately. But our Rolodex now, I think we have about 14 or 15 new private load boards on our Rolodex. If you look at some of this stuff, National Transport, if you click on it, pulls it up. Let's see what we've got here. It'll show you how to find some of these dedicated freights. Now, what you're going to do with this, a lot of this stuff is access granted already. So what you do is you just come in, you just click the link, and let's go and look at some of this private stuff. All right, if you're looking at some of this private stuff over here, like it says here. All right, this is one. Now, some of these are not going to have. Now, some of these are going to have lots of loads. Some are going to have very few loads, but they're private loads. Chances are, because these are private loads, they're going to run all the time. And they probably have several of them running, just back to back to back. So what you want to do is when you come on here and you're looking at some of these private loads, you're going to call them to find out what they're paying and that type of stuff. And remember, if you're inquiring about what a load pays, what you want to do, how you want to start that conversation is you don't want to just start out by saying, how much that load pay? No. You want to come and look at something that maybe your client is in Oklahoma already. Okay? He is in Oklahoma. He's somewhere near this Outer Bell, Oklahoma. And you're looking at the load and it's going down towards Texas. Okay? That is looks like it's a flatbed load. It is a full load. It weighs 48,000 pounds. So it's pretty heavy. It's 48 foot. So it looks like it's a flatbed load. All right. You've got the phone number and everything there. There's a phone number over here to the side. Okay. And there's the reps extension. Now, if you see something that says TARP, that's flatbed. Okay. If it says TARP, that's flatbed. Now, so what you want to do is, when you call, and I'm thinking all these are flatbeds, what you want to do is, when you call up them to inquire about the load, you don't start out by saying, how much does that load pay? You start out by saying, because these are private loads. These are private loads, okay, which means these are probably shippers, because they're private loads. So you're going to call up and you're going to start off with, I have a carrier that is interested in this load. And that carrier needs, now you already know what your carrier needs. If your carrier has told you he needs what? $2.75 per mile, or $2.10 per mile, or $2.25 per mile, you're going to bump that up by almost another 50 cents. You're going to add 50 cents onto it per mile. Why? Because you're trying to get that shipper to agree to give you more than what your carrier needs. Okay? You're not going to go in saying, how much this load paying? Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, won't they cut me out if he's paying more than what I need anyway? Yeah, but it could hurt you even worse. Because if you go in and say, how much is that load paying, you think they're going to start you out on the high end? No. They're going to start you out on the low end. Why? Because you just opened the door for them to start you out on the low end. So what you do is you go in, if your carrier's already told you he needs $2.25 per mile, you're going to go in and say, I've got a carrier that's interested in load, and to make this work for him, he needs $2.75 per mile. Will this load fit that, or do you have any loads that will fit that? Now, what have you done? You have opened the door for what? For them to price that load at $2.75 if they can do it, or if they've got any other loads that'll fit that, they're going to let you know about them. Does everybody understand what just happened? Okay? That's the reason why you want to phrase it that way. You want to phrase it that way because you don't want to have the door shut in your face right away by them saying, yeah, that load pays $1.75 a mile. And then where do you go from there? Oh, I need more than that. Now they're in control. And they say, well, how much more you need? You see what I'm saying? They're in control now. You don't want to put them in the driver's seat. You want to be in the driver's seat. Okay? And if you're trying to shoot for and find that $5 mile load and $6 mile load, trust me, you're not going to find very many of those. Okay? If those were the case, they would list them and they would put out the $5 per mile, $6 per mile, or the amount that was paying, if that was the case. Okay? Obviously, they're not showing you the money because they don't want to give you all the money. So why call them up and ask them an open-ended question? How much does that pay? You understand what I'm saying? That's what you don't want to do. You don't want to have an open-ended question like that. Well, a closed-end question where you're closing yourself in and putting them in the driver's seat. You want to remain in the driver's seat and in control at all times. Now, when they ask you stuff like, when they come back with, okay, well, I can't quite do $2.75. Okay, well, now, you see how you're in the driver's seat? Because your next response is going to be what? Can anybody tell me what your next response is going to be? Can anybody let me know what your reply is going to be when they say, well, I can't quite do $2.75 per mile?
Kevin, you're probably asking, what can he do?
Exactly, which means who's in control now? Who's controlling this conversation? The dispatcher. Exactly.
Right.
You are now in control of the conversation. You are in control of the negotiation. And that's where you want to be, in control. You don't want to have them in control. Okay? You don't want to have them in control. You want to be in control of the conversation. So that's why you started off that way. So now you come back with, well, how much can you do? Now you're in control. Because now they're trying to get as close to what? Your $2.75 as they can to put that deal together for you. See, now they're not thinking $1.75, $1.60. They're not trying to lowball you. Now they're thinking, well, if I want this load ran, I gotta get close to $2.75. They said, well, I could probably do 245. Now, you got to come back with 245 is kind of tight, but I think I can make that work. You got any other freight that runs that pays that kind of money? I mean, is that a dedicated or a sub-dedicated? No. Is there any way we can get that same load all the time? Now you're negotiating. Now you're adding value to that load. You're adding value to your carrier. Okay? Is there a way that we can get that load all the time? Is this a sub-dedicated or is this load runs all the time? See, now you got them thinking, well, I can put him on. Now they're thinking to themselves what? They're now thinking what? Well, I might be able to secure a carrier that can run this load all the time, which means I won't have to go and look for a carrier to run this load all the time. I may have solved my problem, and you may have helped them solve that problem. You see how you just turned that around and you played it to the point to where you was in total control of the negotiation and you dictated it to the way you wanted it to go. And now you've got a shipper who's looking at you like, okay, well, this guy's got a carrier that can run this load all the time, which means that just takes my worries about what to do with this load. Now that's off my head. Now what to do with it every day or every week or whatever the case may be. Okay? And now you can also go into that and say, do you have loads? Do you have backhauls that we can add to this so that he can just run back and forth and pick this load up all the time? That's how you want your negotiation to go. That is how you find sub-dedicated and dedicated freight. Okay? Sub-dedicated and dedicated freight doesn't just jump up and present itself to you like like something on a platter. You've got to inquire about it each and every time you call someone about what a load pays. And when you do that, you have to find a way to put yourself in control of the negotiations. And if you can do that, before you know it, you have all your carriers or the majority of your carriers on sub-dedicated and dedicated freight, and it becomes a very easy thing to manage them. Why? Because they're running the same loads all the time. They're making good money. They're happy. You're getting that check on a continuous basis. You're invoicing your carriers, like clockwork, and everything is running smooth. Okay? Any questions on how to start the conversation and how to take control of the conversation when negotiating with shippers or when you're calling up on some of these loads with brokers or whatever the case may be? Because that's how that's going to go. Okay. Now this stuff is in our back office on some of this stuff. Now, also here we're going to go through some of these loads here to show you what some of these sub-dedicated freight things are paying. Let's go to another one to give you an idea. Let's find one that has some loads posted. Shantae says, "Can you show how?" Hold on here. Give me a second, Shantae. Does someone have a question? Okay. All right. Shantae says, "Can you show how dedicated freight looks? Can you show how dedicated freight or show what it looked like?" Okay. I mean, I don't know how I can show you what it looks like. I can show you. Let's see if we can find something to show you what it looks like. Dedicated freight is all. Dedicated freight is if. All right. Here, let's do this. Let's do this. I might be able to find something real quick here. Let's do this. Let's go to a public load board real quick, or a subscription load board. Let's go to Trucker's Path here real quick. Give me a second. Let's go to Trucker's Path. Now, believe it or not, Warner, we just added another company. What's up with my internet is acting spotty here. Give me a second here. My internet is acting spotty. All right, here we go. Let's find this Warner. Let me get out of this and then go to the Rolodex section and see if I can. Here we go. All right. Let's try to get to your Rolodex section. Find you some. All right. Let's go to Trucker's Path. Let's see if I can find you some dedicated, show you what dedicated freight looks like, or sub-dedicated freight looks like. All right, here we go. Let's go see if we can find something that looks like sub-dedicated freight. All right, go to the link. All right, let's go to Trucker's Path and see what we get here. All right, let's look for some truckloads for carriers. Let's find some loads. 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 Let's just look anywhere. Let's see what happens here. All right. All right. If you're on a load board, okay, and if you see something that looks like it's running the same, like, all right, right here. You see this right here? When you see this, you all see this that says February the 2nd, Springfield, Massachusetts to Chicago, Illinois, 899 miles, 53 foot, 10K, dry van, logistics dynamics, 1500. And then you got a repeat of it right underneath it. Exact same thing. That is probably a dedicated or sub-dedicated freight. Why? Because it's repeating. When you see a repeating load, exactly the same on a load board, that is probably, that's a good indication that they have more than one of those loads running on a daily basis. Okay? So you may want to call that broker up and say, I have a carrier that's interested in that type of load. And by the way, is this just one load or is this load run every day? Now it's 899 miles, so you're not going to be able to run more than one per day. So it probably runs every day. So if he can go there and come back, and you may be able to get one every other day. So that's kind of like what I was running when I was doing the sub-dedicated with the peanut run. Remember, from Bainbridge to Chicago. So what's happening is this. If you're able to pick that load up and then run that load and then get you a backhaul bike, right? You're not going to get back that next day, but you're going to get back the day after that. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're running that load. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you got a load that you're going to be running every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you got a backhaul that you're going to be running every what? Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you got to find a backhaul back every Tuesday and Thursday, but every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you got a load that's running up. That would be an example of a sub-dedicated, or semi-dedicated freight. Now, they probably got some more in here that's the same way. Here's another one from Indianapolis, Indiana to Yuba City, California. Exact same miles, leaving on the same day, okay? Leaving on the same day, exact same miles, going to the exact same place, paying, and it's the exact same load. Okay? So when you see repeater loads like that, when you see the repeater loads, those are an indication that those are dedicated freight. Now here's a good one. Check this out. Shonington, Massachusetts to Florence Town, New Jersey. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all right there together. All the exact same run. Going to the same place, same drop off, all leaving on the same date. That is definitely a sub-dedicated freight. Which means if you get your truck cleared and approved, if you're in line to get one of those loads, they will load you every day you show up. And that's only 279 miles, so you can definitely run that every day. You can run that, right, get back, and pick another one up the next day. So that's every single day you can run that load. Every single day. Okay? Now, if you're good, you can probably run 2 of those a day. If you're good. Or at least you can run it, get back, pick your load up, and be ready to take it again after your shutdown. Or if you know how to do or if you know how to do a split clock. Now, if you know how to work a split clock, you can run 2 of those a day. If you know how to split your clock. Okay? But you gotta know about, how to manage your truck and manage your time and work that split clock. All right? Did I answer your question for you on what it looks like? That's what it looks like if you're looking for it. And here's another one. Look at this one. This one right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's definitely sub-dedicated or semi-dedicated freight. All right. All right. Hopefully I answered the question for you. Let's see here. Can you show? Okay. I'll talk to somebody. Okay. I have a driver that wants in-house runs by Atlanta or Savannah, Georgia. Then you need to go and look on the load boards and try to find him some, some in-house runs, some sub-dedicated rate. What's the range of miles roughly a person could run every day? 625. Good drivers can run 620, 600, 650 miles max. Okay, because look, the average truck is only going to do about 55, 60 miles an hour because most trucks are governed now. Even with an ungoverned truck, what's the speed limit? The speed limit is not 90 miles an hour. And with DOT and sheriff and highway patrol and everybody out there, there's nobody out there running a 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour on these trucks. It just ain't so. It just don't happen. Okay? If they do, they're not going to be on the road long because they're going to be in jail. All right? So the average truck is going to run 55, 60, 65, maybe 70 miles an hour. Okay? Maybe 70 miles an hour. Now, you just do simple math. Trucks only gets 5.6 miles to the gallon. You got 10 hours. You got 11 hours of drive time before you got to shut down for 10 hours. The average truck is not going to drive slam up 11 hours. They're going to drive about 9 hours. So it's going to take them about an hour and a half to 2 hours just to find them a place to shut down at night. No trucker wants to be stuck on the side of the road without a place to sleep, take a shower, eat, watch a little TV before they get back up next morning and go out and run. So every trucker is looking for a truck stop to shut down at. So truck stops don't just pop up on the side of the road just when you get ready to shut down. You got to plan that out, which means you got to do what? You got to start looking for your truck stop, right? Give yourself about an hour or two to get to that truck stop. So you may be in an area where you're getting close to your 8 hours on your first stop. What I would normally do is when you run that first 8 hours, because here's how you can run. You get 11 hours to run your truck before you are required to shut down for 10 hours. Okay? You can run 8 hours straight, and then you are required to shut down for a half hour for a break, fuel, eat, whatever. All right? After that half hour, you can run what? 3 more hours, so 8, 9, 10, 11. You got 3 more hours that you can run after that half hour break. Okay? Now, most drivers don't run after that half hour break. They take that 8 hours, they shut down for about 9, shut down for the 10 hours, and they jump back up and they're back on the road. Now, good drivers, they'll run for that first 8 hours, they'll take that half hour break, no more than a half hour. They'll take that half hour break, bam, put that car, and the car clears to the run, they back out driving. They're going to drive for another hour hard. They're going to drive for another hour, maybe an hour and a half hard. Then they're going to start looking on their map or on their GPS, whatever, looking for a truck stop. They're going to go to their little app. They're going to pull up where they're at. They're going to use the GPS, and you're going to put in a truck stop. And it's going to pull up the truck stop of where they can pull in at. Most drivers want to pull into truck stops that they have the fuel cards for. If they are a pilot, if their company pays them pilot, or if they have a pilot fuel card, guess what? They're going to want to pull up. They're going to want to stop at a pilot or a flying J. If they've got a petrol fuel card, they're going to want to stop at a petrol or whatever the case may be. So because the truck stops are so spread out, you can't just choose to pull over anytime you want to. So you got to plan that. So most drivers are only going to drive about 9 hours. And in that 9 hours, in that 9 to 9.5 hours, you're only going to be able to get about 600, 625 miles if you're not stopping for P breaks and scenery breaks and all the other stuff. If you just straight drive 600, 650 miles. Okay, so there you go. Okay, hopefully I was able to answer that question for you, Shante. And Anonymous says, or Abdullah says, and the faster they run, the more fuel they burn. Exactly. So you don't really want to be out there running your truck at 80, 90 miles an hour anyway. Why? Because you're burning up more fuel. And that's going to cost you more money than it would if you had gotten there faster. Okay, so you got to know about your fuel consumption because the truck is only going to get 5.6 miles to the gallon. That's all these things get. They get 5.6 miles to the gallon. That's why you have two huge 500-gallon tanks. Okay, that's why you have those big tanks on them to fill up. All right. Kim Davis says, I have a driver who wants to have all his loads planned a week ahead. Is this even possible? Yes, I do that. And I've done videos where I've shown you all how to plan your loads ahead of time, how to book your freight ahead of time. All you got to do is basically, I'm not going to get way into it, but there were some videos, I did a few videos that shows you exactly how to do that. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. It's back in it's around 20-something or 30-something on the Earn While You Learn Freight Broker Training. Let's see if I can scan through them real quick. If you go to the back office, if you're in the back office area, and you go to the video libraries, well, let's see if I can scan it real quick. I don't want to take up all our time scanning for past videos, but let's see if we can scan this. Let's see if we can scan this real quick. Or if someone knows where it is, just let us know. I know Charles Mundy's good at finding stuff like that. If someone knows what video it is, just let us know real quick. But let's go to the video library in the back office. Now, if you are on Facebook, you can access our video library. That is not a secure area. So if you are on Facebook, if you want to go to mydispatcher.org and go to our video library, you can access our video library. Okay. All right, here we go. Video library, operational training videos. If I'm not mistaken, that is going to be in the Earn While You Learn series. Today, become a better salesperson, operational training, how to use our tools and resources back office. Number 51, how to use the RBBS platform, how to book loads from home. Live carrier call, steps to booking the load. Number 50, for those of you who want to know about the live carrier call, we did that at number 50. So you go to the library and see it's right there in number 50. Number 49, new load board, and our students how to sign up more carriers, how to book. What's that one? See what that one is. I think that might be it. Okay. How to book your carriers for a week on the weekends. I'm pretty good at this stuff. All right. It's going to be at number 49. It's going to be in the RBBS LLC operational training, Earn While You Learn 49. And that's Roman numeral 49. That's the XL, the V, and the 111. So it's number 49. Okay. This is the one it's going to be in. It's going to be in number 49. So if you want to know how to book your carriers out for a week, go back and review the RBBS Logistics, the operational training video number 49, Earn While You Learn. Okay? You can go to mydispatcher.org, go to the video library, and scroll over to where it says operational training, and then go to number 40, go to the one that says the RBBS LLC operational training number 49, Earn While You Learn. It's got the guy right there that's saying the little impossible thing. People who say it cannot be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. Mr. George Bernard Shaw said that. Very insightful man. Very insightful man. Okay. I need to make that my Facebook post. People who say it cannot be done need not to interrupt those who are doing it. Okay. That's deep. That really is deep. All right. So there you go. Okay. Moni says, is there a way to get the volume on the laptop? Not able to hear. That's got to be on your own system. Okay. You can go to your laptop, go down to the bottom, of your laptop, you should see a pop-up down there that has like a little speaker control. Click on it or double click on it. It should open it up, and then you should be able to crank up your, your volume there. But that's on your end. I don't think anyone else is having problems hearing me, but that's the speaker on your end. That's something you have to. That's something that you have to take care of on your end. Okay? And I do apologize for that, but my volume is up as loud as it can go, and my mic is on full blast. So I even got my headset on, so my mic will be on full blast. Is anyone else having trouble hearing me, or is it just her? I think it's just her. Okay. All right. All right. Let's go back to get back on track here. Let's go back and get back on track. Let's go back to our back office tools and resources, because we got some other stuff we got to go over here in the back office. All right, let's see what the other questions is. Alfredo says, if you are on the site, see the red phone, click on the red phone. Okay. Okay. Shante says, what is the best time to call for freight? It's like the stock market. The freight gets going fast. It depends on what you're looking for. I mean, the best time to call for freight is the best time to call for freight. Freight brokers and shippers, they usually are gone after 5:30. So really, if you're calling between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m., it's probably going to be your peak time to call the shippers or whatever. The best time to grab freight for that day, if you're trying to grab freight that day, you better get it before 8 a.m. because most loads are pretty much gone around. People are probably, it's slim pickings after 9 o'clock in the morning. I mean, this truly is the early bird gets the worm. The early bird does get the worm when it comes to grabbing freight early in the morning, grabbing freight for that day. That's why it's good to have a dispatcher to plan your loads out, book your loads a couple of days in advance. So you don't want to wait till the day of to start looking for freight, unless you're going to get up at 4 in the morning, start looking on the load boards, finding some stuff that just got posted, and then you have to sit there and wait until that broker gets up at 6 a.m. and you call him right at 5:59 and 22 seconds. So when the phone is ringing, by the time that he picks up on that 10th call, it's bam, it's 6 a.m. You're the first call in. So the best way to avoid that is to book freight a couple of days in advance, or book them out for a week in advance. That's why I'm a big proponent of booking your carriers out for the entire week. Okay? Because if I can go ahead and book them out for the entire week, because when I used to book my own freight, I used to have my freight booked out for the entire week. So then all I had to do was what? Plan my routes, and just make sure that I plan my routes and give myself enough time to get there, drop it off, get to the place to pick up that next load, get to where I need to go to do that, drop that off, get to the place to pick up that next load. That's why you want to plan them out like that. Okay? Plan everything out. All right. But 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. is the best time to start calling. But the peak time, you want to call before 9 a.m. So 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., that's when you got a whole bunch of freight that's still available. Most carriers got their loads and gone by 7 o'clock in the morning. Most carriers are on the road by 7 o'clock in the morning. They done got in, backed up, grabbed their freight, and they out of it. Okay? But if you want to secure some freight, 6 a.m. to about 9 a.m., if you're trying to book freight day to day like that. Now, if you're smart, plan your loads out, you don't have to worry about that. All right. Let's go into our back office here. Let's look at some of this other stuff that we got. Some of the new things that we have here. Any more questions about how to find dedicated freight and what dedicated freight looks like, what sub-dedicated freight looks like, what you need to say to the shipper or the broker when you're talking to them, or if you're trying to negotiate or control the negotiation as far as getting to your dedicated freight and grabbing the dedicated freight. All right. Okay. Some other stuff here that we got in the back office here real quick. Let's go over some of the new tools and stuff that we have here in the back office. If you notice here in the tools and resources area, if you go into the back office area, you're looking at tools and resources. You notice here we got some stuff here that we have a truck rate calculator. Okay. The truck rate calculator, it examines business expenses and truckload expenses. Truckload expenses can be entered as a flat rate per mile or percentage. Click here to use our free truck rate calculator. Basically, click on it, takes you over to the calculator, and it's going to tell you how to do that. You can put in, let's say, the state, let's say Alabama, is your pickup state. Let's see what city. Let's start typing in something here. Let's say D, and see what pulls up. Let's say Dadeville, whatever the case may be. And then the destination state, we're going to say is Delaware. Let's pull this here. F, is anything with F? Yeah, that's it. Farmington. And then go down here. Travel distance. Anybody know the distance from? There it is right there. If you click on it, it pumps it right up. So if you put that in, you click on that, it's going to pump the distance. You click on that right there. The truck is going to get about 5 miles to the gallon. We usually say 5.6, but it won't do the 0.6. So they just say leave it at the 5. That's already in there. Fuel price. You put that in. Average fuel price now is about $2.72 per gallon. Driver pay. You don't have to put that in. You don't have to put all the other stuff in. You don't need to put in driver pay and all that type of stuff. If you're running your own truck, don't worry about that. Anticipated transport rate. Anticipated transport rate. Let's say if you got a load and the load is, you already know what the load is paying. Let's say the load is paying $3,500. Load is paying $3,500. What you're trying to do is trying to make sure if this load is profitable or not. Okay, if this load is going to work for you, if it's going to be profitable or not. Now you can also put in truck expenses and things like that. If you want to put in what your truck payment is and all that type of stuff, you can put that in. You can do flat rates by the mile, things like that. Broker fees, you can put in a broker fee. If you have a broker's fee, you can do a percentage. Let's say if you got a dispatcher or a broker, you can do a percentage. Let's say 10%. So you got that 10% in there. You don't have an equipment fee, other expenses. You're good to go. If you want to break down what your truck payments are for each and every run, you can do that, but I wouldn't do that. You kind of know what that is. And then you go ahead and put the kind of profit you want, what kind of profit you would like to have. You don't have to put that in there, but if you put in what type of profit you would like to have after each run. Now the goal of each run should be to make $500 per run. Okay? I know that sounds low. That does sound low. But if you're running 4 runs per week, $500 per run profit on each run, that's what? That's $2,000 per week after you pay all your expenses. That's not bad money for a carrier. $2,000 per week, not bad. But most carriers want to be at least $3 to $5 grand per week. Okay, $3 to $5 grand per week. So if you're looking at that right there, you kind of want your profit to be, let's say, $1,000. Let's say $1,000 on that particular run. You want your profit to be $1,000 on that run. Then you're going to hit calculate. You're going to hit calculate and look what it does for you. It's going to tell you if that run is going to meet your need or not, if it's going to be profitable for you or not. It's going to tell you, it's going to give you the breakdown, tell you what the fuel is, 168 gallons, what it's going to take. Your fuel cost is going to be $452.96. It's going to be a little bit worse than that because it's going to be a little bit better than that because you're actually getting a little bit more than 5 gallons to the mile. But you're getting 5.6 gallons to the mile, but a mile to the gallon. I'm sorry, you're getting 5.6. So you're leaving yourself some room. So you're going to make a little bit better money than that. All right, your broker fee is going to be $350. Why? Because remember, 10% or that dispatch fee. That's what it's going to call. That's going to come out. Your total expense is going to be $806.96. Cost per mile, 0.97 cents per mile is what you're making. That's what you're going to be making. That's what you're going to be profiting. 0.97 cents per mile. Transport rate is $3,500 is what they're paying you. Transport rate per mile, they're paying you $4.19 per mile on that $3,500 right there. Transport rate profit dollars, $2,693.04. Transport rate profit percent, 76.94%. Profitable rate, $1,806.96. Profitable rate per mile, $2.16. So you're good. Profitable rate in dollars, 1,000. Profitable rate percent, you're 55%.34. So yes, that is a profitable run. You can make that run, and you'll walk away with your $1,000. Actually, walk away with a little bit better than $1,000. Okay, you're gonna walk away with, after all your expenses and everything, you should walk away pretty good there. All right, so that is a truck rate calculator that tells you if a load is profitable or not. So if you are a dispatcher and you see a rate and you want to see if that rate is going to be profitable, and you have that information right there, you can go and plug it in and see if that it's going to make your truck, going to make your carrier profitable. That's a rate calculator. All right. Can you go over how to talk to a shipper again if you have time? Thanks, Alfredo. The phone is gray. I'll dial until I can figure it out. All right. What do you mean how to talk to a shipper? You mean go back and repeat what we just talked about earlier on? I'm not going to do that because we need to move on. Okay. I'm not going to keep repeating stuff that we just did. This video this is all being recorded. Okay, this is all being recorded, and it will be in the back office, and it will be on our YouTube channel also too. So you can go back and kind of replay it after we get it loaded up and everything. But because we only have 3 hours, actually about 2.5 hours really, and we want to make sure that we get everything in before that 1:15 because we still got our Q&A session. So we try not to repeat the same stuff over and over. Because when we do that, then it comes off on the video as what? Stuff is just repeated. You know, people watch the video and they're gonna, did he just go over that? Why are we going over that again? Okay. All right. How to find loads for team drivers? Look for loads that run more than 3,000 miles, or run more than 2,000 miles. You know, any load that's running more than 2,000 miles, that's a team truck. Okay. Trust me on that. If you got a load that's running, 2,500, 3,000, 4,000 miles, those are team trucks. Those are team loads. Especially if they're telling you the drop-off date is like the next day. If you got a 2,500 mile run and the drop-off date is the next day, you can only do that with a team truck. It's simple mathematics. That's how you find loads for team drivers. You gotta know, you gotta do your math. You gotta know how far a truck can run before it has to shut down. You gotta know what the time frame is. You gotta know how many miles a good carrier can drive in their allotted time. They only got 9 to 10 hours, 11 hours tops, and they have to shut down outside the road somewhere. 600, 650 miles. I wouldn't dare calculate 650. I would always calculate 580 to 625. So 600 miles. Just drop it up at 600 miles. So you calculate 600 miles in a driving shift. All right? So if you got a 2,500 mile run, or if you got a 1,200 mile run, and you got 1 day to do it in, can a single driver make that run? No. That is a team driving load. If they're giving you 1 day to make a 1,200 mile run, you can only do that with team drivers. Each driver can drive 600 miles each. That's your 1,200 miles in 1 day. Now, the 1,200 miles in 2 days, that's a one driver run. If it's a 2,400 mile run in 2 days, that's a two driver run. All right? If it was a 2,400 mile run in 4 days, that's a one driver run. It was a 4,800 mile run in 3 days, that's a two driver run. You see how that works? That's how you do that. All right? That's how you do it. All right. So I calculate 550 unless driver tells me different. Exactly. Look, a lot of drivers out there, they don't drive straight through. They gotta take frequent bathroom breaks. They gotta stop and and eat this and eat that. They want to stop here and stop there. Look, me, once I sit in that driver's seat, I'm not moving until I got to shut down for my 8 hours. I drive until, now so I'm looking for a place to shut down. At about 7 hours, I started looking for a place to go and refuel up. Okay? I pull in, I take my half-hour break, bam. As soon as that clock strikes 31 minutes, I'm pulling back out, back on the road. Driving for another hour and a half, then shut down. Now, if you go and talk to any of my trainers, when I was on the training truck, they fell in love with me. Why? Because I was driving 640, 650 miles of driving shift, and they could not believe it. They were like, "Man, you don't stop for nothing, do you?" I go, "Hey, I'm here to drive." When I was covered my trainer, I'm not gonna say. Well, I probably shouldn't say this. I don't want to get nobody in trouble. But let's just say hypothetically, if you are a trainer and you're getting paid for your student miles and your miles, some trainers, I'm not going to say who, but some trainers will pay their students if they are great drivers. Like, let's say you're at a company that was paying you, let's say $500 a week on your flat fee, or $500-600 a week on your flat training fee, right? But if you're a student driver and you're driving 650 miles and your trainer is getting what, 60 cents per mile for both you and him, so he's getting your miles and his miles, that's 7,500 miles per week. If you got a good, decent trainer and he recognizes that you're running 650 miles every driving shift, that trainer may say, you know what, here's what I'm going to do. Because you drive so well, we're gonna grab as many miles as we can. We're going to make this money. I'm going to pay you $450 a week out of my own pocket. On top of your what? $500 a week that you're making from the company. So that's giving you what? $900, almost $1,000 a week. You see how that works? Good trainers would do that. Okay? Good trainers would do that. So if you're in a training truck for 6 weeks or 7 weeks, you get paid good money versus getting just that $500. And if you was on something like a VA program where you're getting $450 from the VA, you're getting $500 from the company, and you're getting another $450-500 from your trainer, but then hey, you ride now. Okay, you are riding now. But that's what it takes, to drive. But like you said, 550 miles, I wouldn't calculate anything more than that unless the driver tells you, hey man, I do 650 miles per shift. Now it's possible. It's possible. I know because I've done it. I've done it consistently. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna hate to let you go. Exactly. Your trainer is not gonna want to let you leave the strip. Because you making him a ton of money. He don't mind breaking you off that $500. So for that 7 weeks, he gonna make some money. That trainer's gonna make where he was normally making about $4 or $5 grand a week. If you're driving at that, you're gonna bump him up to about $7-8 grand a week. See how that works? So those trainers are, they get paid good money if they got a good student. If they got a good student can make a trainer, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand a week. A good student. If you got a student that can drive 650 miles consistently, you might want to say, look, let's forget this trainer stuff. Let's just partner up with me. And then let's just go get our own truck and let's just ride. Okay? Because you're going to make some money. All right. But hopefully I was able to explain to you how to find team loads. It's all about how it's timed out, what's your drop time, how much time you got to deliver that load versus the miles you have. So you're gonna take the mile divided by the time you've got to deliver the load. If that comes out to more than 600 miles per shift, that's a two driving. That's a team load. Okay, so there you go. All right. Can't make money unless the left door is closed. Exactly. If the wheels ain't turning, there you go. Right. That's what it is. That's how it is. All right. Okay. All right. Let's go back and find what we were talking about here. But that's your rate calculator. You have that in there. We have a lot of good tools back there in the back office now. But that's your rate calculator. We also have something called a. Now I'm not going to click on all of these. I'm just going to show them to you here as we go through them. My internet keeps spotting in and spotting out. Now we have a freight quote calculator too. This one helps you to compare prices with a larger selection of carriers without the need to have an account for each of them. Okay, so we have a freight quote calculator, you have a what's called calculator, and different calculators that we have there in the back office that we've added in. These are all new stuff that we've added into the back office. So click on some of this stuff and see how that works for you. Give me a second here. We're gonna go ahead and now before we get into our Q&A. So we're coming up on 12 o'clock. Before we get into our Q&A, let's go down and let's look at some of these rates. Let's look at some of the rates that are in some of these private load boards. Now, I know everyone is saying that rates are low right now. Yes, rates are low right now. If you are looking for rates in the regular load boards, Truckers Pass, 123, DAT, in that truck stop, if you are looking for loads in any of those types of venues, you'll notice that rates are low. They are low. This is winter time. The weather affects rates. The weather does affect rates, especially in the southern part of the country. Rates become rates are paying less in the southern part of the country because you have more drivers that are here now trying to run loads. Rates are paying a little bit better in the northern part of the country because you have less drivers up there trying to run loads, okay? And it's kind of hard to get freight in and out. All right, so but rates are affected. You've got the tariff war that we have that's going on with China, so they're raising rates on stuff, so they're shipping companies are charging more to get that stuff in, so they're cutting the rates so they can get it moved for cheaper. So all that does affect what's going on. And then we had the government shutdown, which kind of affected rates too again. So we have a lot of things. We have like a hurricane, a perfect storm of things that took place to drive rates down. But here's the good news. There are some private load boards out there, and that's why I loaded up a bunch of the private load boards in the back office. Because if you start looking at some of these private load boards, you start finding some decent rates. Okay, let's see just how decent. If you're looking at some of these private load boards, you're going to start finding some decent rates. Now, the great thing about private load boards is normally they don't cost anything to get onto a private load board. You just got to have access to it and know how to get access to it. Okay, here's one, Top Flight Transportation, which is a private load board. Let's see what they've got here. They've got some stuff in here. Let's see if they've got anything in here. And a lot of this stuff is going to be like, check this out. 371 miles, $1,800. Now, anybody care to do the math on that? That's a decent rate. That's at least what? 600, let's see. At 600, that would be at 600, so at 1,300, so at 700, that would be about $2 a mile. So at 1,400, that's about $3 a mile. So that's a little over $3. That's a little over that's about $3 something per mile, right? Who want to do the calculation on that?
What's the mileage on the car?
The miles is 371, and the rate is 1,800.
That's $4.85 a mile.
Exactly. Now, you mean to tell me that's not good paying freight? That's decent paying freight. All right. So there are some decent loads out there, but you got to go to the private load boards to kind of find most of them. Now, this is actually a pretty good one because it does have the ability to click the payment button and watch what happens. When you click the payment button, click it twice, it's going to pull up all the loads that are showing the rates first. See how that works? And those are the kind of load boards you really want. You want the ones that's going to show the rates first. And here it is. You've got quite a few of them on here. Here's one that's 371 paying 1,800. Then you got one that's 918 that's paying 1,800. That's not quite $2 per mile. Then you got one, another one. That's a sub dedicated right there. picks up, going to the same place, same amount of money, same mile. That one is a sub-dedicated. Here's one that's going 851 miles, another sub-dedicated run. Why? Because you got bike to bike, same load, picking up on the same day, going to the same place. So that's another sub-dedicated. Then you got another sub-dedicated from Richmond, going from Indiana to Richmond, California. Is 738 miles, and it's paying $1,600. That's a sub-dedicated also too. So you may want to call up this company just because they got a lot of sub-dedicated freight. If you're looking for sub-dedicated freight for your carrier, this may be a good company to call up to see about this sub-dedicated freight. That's the great thing about dealing with private load boards. Okay, and here, like I said, they got quite a bit of them. They got quite a bit of loads running to and from the same place, multiple loads on the same day. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're looking at some of these private load boards. You got to go to these private load boards in order to get the money you need sometimes. And I really like this load board. I really like this one. It's small. It's not very blase, and a lot of the loads are powered by truck stop. So you're actually seeing their loads that are posted on truck stop without having to go to truck stop. Okay, so that's one of them right there. Okay, so get in the back office, look at that one. Some other ones we have. I'm gonna show you some other ones that we have also too. So for those of you who say you can't find good paying freight nowadays, go to these private load boards. Do not sleep on these private load boards that they have in your back office. Question? Who has a question? No one has a question? All right. Here's Transcorp. This is usually pretty good too. They got the map thing here. You click on, let's say, Texas. That's where you want to look at stuff that's coming out of Texas. You want to click your search. You can look at see where the loads are coming out of Texas at. You can click to and from destination or whatever the case may be. Pick up. A lot of times, this one, it doesn't have a rate where it shows you the rate. I don't think it does. If it does, it would tell you over here on the side. If you're not asking a question, please mute your mic. I can hear someone sound like they're, I don't know if they're eating or they're doing something, but that mic is open. It's picking up every little thing you do. If you're turning pages on a book or something, we're picking it up loud and clear. Okay, so if you're not asking a question, please mute your mic because these mics do pick up everything. Look at some of the loads here and see if they got anything in here on pay. These are not going to have, I don't think, what they're paying. They have the weight, the equipment. You can click on details and it will pull up, I think it'll pull up the details. Maybe it won't pull up details. Oh, there it is right there. You got to put in the number and the load number. Okay, these are for bids. If you want to bid on it, you can bid on that one too. You can bid on those too. So this one you can bid on. All right, let's find another one here real quick. That one you can bid on. And then you've got, look at some of these load boards. I want to show y'all some of these before we get into our Q&A. If I'm not mistaken, this was a pretty good one too. All right, yeah, I think this was a pretty good one. Remarks. So this one usually has the, if it's paying anything, it has it over here on the side. Shows you in their explanations, and it will tell you if they are paying a certain amount of money or whatever. It could be attention, who to contact, and if it's paying anything, it usually have it here on the side, where it's just printed up. Let's see if we got anything here that shows you what the rate is. Not showing a whole lot of rate information, but you got quite a few loads. And like I said, I'm looking at a lot of dedicated freight on here. Like here's a whole cluster of them right here. See this right here, Tulsa, Oklahoma to West Heller. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll pick it up, leaving the same date. So here's another one right here. There's another cluster right here from PA to Conway, South Carolina. So they got a lot of dedicated freight. So if you're looking for dedicated freight, go to these private load boards. So that's where you're gonna find your dedicated and sub-dedicated freight at. All right? Get on these private load boards. Contact these companies. You know, take control of the negotiation, like we just showed you in the beginning here. Take control of the negotiations and get some of this dedicated freight. I'm telling you, our dedicated freight is where it's at. You get your carrier on dedicated and sub-dedicated freight, they're gonna love you. They're gonna absolutely love you. And they're out there. You just gotta know how to find it. And now we're showing y'all how to find it. Okay, this is people have been asking for a long time. How do you get your carriers on sub-dedicated freight? Because I have a lot of sub-dedicated freight that my carriers run. A ton of semi-dedicated and sub-dedicated. I do have some contracted dedicated loads that we're on, but most of our carriers run sub-dedicated and non-contracted semi-dedicated freight. And this is how you find it. You got to go through these private load boards, and you got to find those dedicated clusters, and you got to call them up, and you got to quiz them on it. Any questions on the value of some of these private load boards? Oh yeah, here's one right here. I kind of like this one too. Pick up. I kind of like this one too. This one is pretty good. You can go and you can click on what state you want to look into. You got all the states up here. I like the way it's laid out. You can click on flatbed. It tells you right here they got 118 flatbed loads, 103 van loads. They got 58 reefer loads. They got 0 low board. So now if you're looking for, now this one is great for people who have let's say if you've got hopper bottom hot shots or something like that, it lets you know right away if they have it in those loads. And I keep telling you, a hot shot load, I wouldn't deal in those a whole lot, because as you see here, they have 0 hot shots, 0 tankers. They have 3 removable gooseneck loads. Okay, that's something. They have 3 removable gooseneck loads. They have no power only loads. They have no double loads. They have 1 auto carrier load. They got 89 step deck loads. They got 0 low board loads. They got 58 reefer loads, 103 van loads, and 118 flatbed loads. Okay, so they kind of give you a preview of what they have, so you'll know when you first get there if you're wasting your time looking at it or not. Okay, I like that. That's a pretty good feature. Drivers first, exactly. Oh, hey Facebook, I apologize. I've been neglecting my Facebook people. I've been neglecting my Facebook people. Hey, how y'all doing? I appreciate y'all. I see my wife is joining in and looking at us on Facebook. Our Facebook feed has ended, so I must have had a break in the feed there. So Facebook, we've lost our Facebook feed, but we appreciate y'all joining us for the time that y'all did. All right, let's go here and check see what questions we have. Okay, I'm glad everyone won't follow directions because he is giving up the goods in this class. Yeah, I give up the goods all the time. You know what? I get calls from other freight broker traders and they say exactly the same thing. They say, man, you make it hard for me to get new students because you just give away the whole cake and caboodle for free. Well, I mean, look, our money is not made on the goods. Our money is made on the access and the support and the network. Okay, that's where we make our money at. That's why you pay your subscription fee, $19.95 a month. That's where we make our money. So we can afford to give up the goods. Okay, that's how we can afford to give up the goods. So because our system is based on the giveaway system. And now, with that being said, I don't want to get off track. I don't want to get off track. But I want to give you all a little preview of something. All right, we have a subsidiary that we've been working on. We've been working on a subsidiary company, and for members of our subscription-based members, this company is a true 100% company that you will actually work for. It's not a business opportunity, so to speak. You will actually be a 1099 employee, which means we will not just be hiring any and everybody. It's going to be open to everybody, but you're going to have to put in a resume and turn in an application and those type of things, and you're going to have to be selected. Okay, starting out, you're going to have to be selected for the first year. For the first year, we're only allowing people in that we select. Why? Because we want to make sure that we have a good crop. We have a good executive team that's going to be going out there and putting together those accounts. Now, after that first year, then we will open it up to anybody that wants access to come in and work this business. But for the first year, we're only going to be allowing people into our company and onto our payroll, or onto our commission structure that we select. And we only want to select people who we know who are committed and who are going to go out and do what they need to do. That's why everyone who is a subscription-based member to this platform will have the opportunity to come in and basically be added to our corporate structure. Because we know that if you are a subscription-based member, we know you're dedicated. You're paying your subscription every month. You're logging in, you're doing the things you're supposed to do, so we know that you are committed. We know that you are dedicated. We don't have to question that. Okay? If we have people who are not part of this platform, who are not subscription-based members, then we have to question your dedication. That's just, just no other way for you to say it. Okay? You have to show us or prove to us through your resume, through your works in the past, or whatever you've done, that you are a good fit for what we're looking for this first initial year. Now, what is this company? This company is P4L. It is P4L Incorporated, which stands for Parts for Less, Pick and Pull Price Without the Pick and Pull. I'm not going to tell you a whole bunch about it. You can go and look it up on YouTube. You can, I'll put it up for you real quick here to show you what it looks like. P4L.net. Go to P4L.net or buy P4L.com. This is P4L. It is it's a consumer parts site where you can go and get and we are direct to manufacturers. We have a manufacturer out of Mexico that we have signed on with, actually 3 of them out of Mexico, that builds brand new parts. And we are connecting the consumer directly with the manufacturer. In other words, 70% off of regular price parts. If you go to AutoZone and you're looking at a catalytic converter that's going to run you, what, $250, $300, or whatever the case may be, it's going to run you about, what, $79 to $140 here, I think, or something like that. If you're looking at a radiator that's going to run you $175 or $190 or whatever the case may be, it's going to be about $50, $60 for a radiator, something like that. Starters, $14, $19 for a starter or an alternator. So you're getting parts at a very, 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 very cheap price. And what we're going to be looking for is P4L executive, where you would go out and you would connect with shade tree mechanics, the small mechanic shop, and you will set up the accounts. And each and every time they order, you're going to get your commission, up to 50% commission on those parts that they order each and every day or every week, or how often they order. Because it is there's a shade tree mechanic on every street, in every neighborhood. Every neighborhood has a shade tree mechanic. Okay, every neighborhood has a shade tree mechanic. Okay, so if you can get out there and you can connect with some of these shade tree mechanics, and get them cheap parts. Why? Because what they're doing, they're paying retail at the stores for their parts. Why not give them an option where they can get the parts from you or from us at greatly discounted prices, so what they can then what? Make more money. They can make money on the parts and on their service. Now, I didn't want to get off track. I know that's a whole different industry, but because we own both companies, I just thought I'd bring it to y'all and let y'all know about it. Go and check it out for yourself at peoplel.net or buypeoplel.com. Give you a quick look at the back office here. We have a corporate back office for the People L executives. In the back office is where we're going to have all your stuff that's going to be loaded up for all your training. We haven't put any of the training and stuff in yet, but all your training and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to get into my new parts suppliers, so let's get out of this. What y'all see is my new parts suppliers and stuff. But we're going to have that ready for you all here probably within the next couple of weeks, and we'll start sending out our new hiring package and stuff on quite a few of the hiring sites like Indeed, Glassdoor, will be in Newsweek, and some other things also too. But for individuals who are part of our network here, if you're part of our network here, you'll be able to come in and just indicate that you want to be a part of it, and we'll bring you right in. You can start your training, and we'll get you out there and you'll have, again, we'll supply everything you need. All you got to do is bring drive. We'll supply everything else. You just bring the drive, and we will supply everything else. We'll supply you with your toll-free extension. We'll supply you with your e-fax line. We'll supply you with your dedicated domain email address. We'll supply you with your back office and your back office access, where you have access to your contracts, all the things you need to go out and set up your clientele and start your own accounts and start bringing in residual income. All right? But that's what it is. If you're not part of our platform, if you're not part of our scholar, you got to turn in a resume, and then you got to go through a selection process, like any other career. Okay, you got to go through that selection process. What we're going to be looking for is people with sales backgrounds, people who have demonstrated in their background that they can commit to something, and and go out and make it happen. Okay. So that's what we're looking for that first year. All right, back to what we were doing and what we were talking about. All right, so these private load boards is where you're going to find a lot of this, dedicated stuff, sub-dedicated stuff, and you got some pretty good rates on some of this private load board stuff too. Let's go and see if we can find one that's got like a lot of rates posted. I was looking at some yesterday. As a matter of fact, I posted some on Facebook in the chat group. I posted some on Facebook, and they had rates that was like $4.50, $5, some even $6 per mile on some of this stuff. So good paying freight is still out there, but you just gotta go to some of these private load boards and find it. I mean, it's not gonna just fall and drop into your lap. You gotta do the research, and you gotta go out and search and find the good paying freight. That's all this. Just no other way around it. You got to get on the load board, and you got to go out and you got to find it. But that's what it's going to take. In looking at, but you got to go through some of these private load boards to do just that. All right. I got a lot of questions here. Questions answered. So the accounts we set up get discount. Okay, hold up here. I'm not sure what that was about. Give me a second here. Oh yeah, they're talking about something else. Okay. Money LOL. That's how you get your blessings. Share the wealth. Wow. Where do I send my resume? We'll handle that at a later time. Right now, let's stay concentrated on this. But that's just stuff that we have that we're working on. That's coming. It will be here soon. And we will be putting the information out, and of course, everybody who's associated with us here will get first dibs at it and things like that. Let's see here. All right. Okay. Universal is a company, and I do believe they got some good pay and freight. Let's check them out. I think I got some good loads. I saw some good stuff coming from them. Commodity. Look, a lot of dedicated stuff from university. Look at this. I mean, look at this dedicated. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loads back to back to back. Coming down here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loads, all lumber, back to back to back, going to the exact same place. So, yeah, you know, what's this one right here? $750 on how many miles is that? The width, the miles, where's the miles at? $750. 275 miles, $750. That's decent, okay? And that's a dedicated because you got loads running back to back going to that. It's only 275 miles, so chances are you can run 2 of those loads in a day. 750 times 2, what's that? That's $1,500 a day, people. Who do you know making $1,500 a day on loads right now? Okay, do not skimp on these little short runs. Okay, these little short runs pay a lot of money. Like this one right here, 130 miles. Okay, these are 130 mile runs. I guarantee you, it's not showing you what the rate is, but I guarantee you, it's paying good money. Okay, and you know they're dedicated. Why? Because they got a couple of them here back to back. So you can probably run one, swing back around, pick up another one, and run it again. You can dead head back and pick that up, and that may be worth it to you, especially if it's paying, you know, 130 miles. If it's paying anything more than $400, $500, guess what? You might want to grab that and run 2 of them. Chances are it's probably paying somewhere around $600, $700, and $800, somewhere around there. Those little short runs like that. But they got quite a few of them, as you can see here. And you just got to go over and look at the comment section and it'll tell you which ones are paying what. Some say negotiable, and some of them have the rate listed $850 on this one called Jeremy, and this one is 344 miles. Dedicated, why? Because it's a sub-dedicated, because you have a couple of them running back to back. And they're paying $850, and there's only 344 miles. Okay? There you go. If you just ran one of them a day, that's $850 a day. I mean, still, that's good money. I don't care how you look at it, that's good money. And so, there you go. All right? But that's another one that's in the back office. Another one that we have Warner in the back office. We have a Warner load board. That's a Warner loads in the back office. I was able to call the Warner guy, talk with him, and he said, yeah, you know, if you got carriers and if we run their DOT number and they check out, yeah, they can run our loads. They don't have a problem with it. So we added them to the back office. See if I can find that Warner load board here real quick. But we added them to the back office. There it is right there. Warner. But we added their load board, added them in, and so they're on board. And if any of you all have carriers that want to run some Warner loads, call them up. Now, I know for a fact Warner has some great sub-dedicated runs. Remember that load I told you about to Chicago, back down to Bainbridge? That was a Warner. That was a Warner dedicated. The loads that I ran out of Alachua, the bottled water runs from Live Oak to Alachua, from Alachua back to Tallahassee, those were Warner runs. So if you can contact the Warner people and get with them, and you know, do the negotiation the same way I just told you, okay? Get in on some of these loads that they got, and make this happen. Matter of fact, let me see if they still got that. Let me see if they got that. What's called run? Bainbridge from Georgia to Chicago. I'm gonna see if they still got it. I don't see it in here. Okay, now I don't see it in here. Not from Bainbridge, Georgia to Chicago. But they had some pretty good runs. Let me check the Florida run. Nothing in Florida right now. But they had some pretty good runs. They got a bunch of California runs that they have also too. So yeah, check with Warner and see what they have. And if If you're looking for dedicated freight, Warner usually has dedicated freight. So, all right. Okay, what's the difference between sub and semi-dedicated runs? All right. A sub-dedicated run usually is going to run you there and back. That's what I call a sub-dedicated. All right. Usually runs you there and you got a load coming back. The run I had from Chicago up there and then coming back, that was a sub-dedicated, which means it wasn't contracted, but I had a load going and I had a load coming back. You got a load going, load coming back. All right. The semi-dedicated was like the loads I had that picked up in Live Oak, and then it was a bottled water run picked up in Live Oak, which is about 30 miles from here. Picked up in Live Oak, it ran 70 miles to Alachua. That paid $680. Then I would pick up a load in Alachua, which was from the Coca-Cola bottling plant, which was not the same run. I would go about 5 miles to the Coca-Cola plant in Alachua, where I dropped off the bottled water run. The Coca-Cola plant is about 5 miles away. Then I'll go there, pick up that, and then take it down to Tallahassee. Back here to Tallahassee, which was 104 miles. That paid me $820. So like $680 and $820, but it was from different pickups from different companies. That's what I call a semi-dedicated. And then I could then hit from the Coca-Cola plant here in Tallahassee back over to Live Oak and do it all over again. Okay, that's what you call semi-dedicated. When you're piecing together runs that you can run all the time to make a full day's run. You know, 2 runs, $680, $820. So then you're looking at what? 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost $1,500 per day. Okay? Pieced together by two sub-dedicated runs to make a semi-dedicated run. Okay? Did you get that? I hope I was getting. Okay, yeah, great. Okay, are these load boards available in the? Yeah. We're in the back office. That's where we're at. We're in the back office now. That's where all this is coming from. All this is coming from the back office. These are all loads that are in your back office. All these load boards. We added a bunch of these this week. We added about 13, 14 new private load boards, and we're going to be adding about probably about 10 to 12 each and every week. So that back office load board is going to become very extensive. Okay, our back office load board is going to become very extensive. As you can see here, we got quite a few new load boards into this back office now. So it's going to become very extensive load board here. If you're looking for loads, we're going to have a pretty good, disbursement of loads here in the back office. All right, Q&A. Let's get into the Q&A session. Q&A session. I think we've covered everything that we were supposed to cover today, as far as what we wanted to cover and what we needed to cover. Hopefully this was helpful. Let's get into some Q&A. We lost our Facebook feed, so we're no longer live on Facebook, but we appreciate them joining us when they did for the time that they did and everything. All right. Any questions? Who has questions? Who has questions? Come and talk to me. I really want to hear you. Y'all don't talk to me. I start singing. That's what I do. I know y'all heard me sing in a while, but y'all don't start talking. I'm going to start singing. Y'all don't want to hear me sing. I can't sing. I think I can sing. I'm pretty sure y'all don't think I can sing. So talk to me and keep you from singing. Somebody's mic is open, so you must want to ask me a question. Announce yourself and tell me what your question is. All right.
Hey.
Hello? Do you have a question?
Yeah, hey, can you hear me?
I hear you just fine. And your name? Okay, you're breaking up real bad. I don't know if you're driving or what, but you are breaking up real bad. So
yeah, I'm driving. I'm by all these on a roll right now, so yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you got your headset on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you doing nothing dangerous. Okay. All right, well, what's your question?
Well, my question was about the other business opportunity that you were talking about. It's like, what's the time frame on implementing that?
All right. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all a number. Okay, and you can call me at this number on that opportunity, but we don't want to get into that one right here, right now. Okay, because this is dedicated for something else, and we want to kind of stay true to what we're doing right here, right now. If you have a question for me on the other business opportunity, which is going to be coming later, okay, our toll-free number for that number is on that website. Just go to p4l.net. Go to p4l.net, and you'll see our toll-free number, which is right up there, and just hit extension 5. The extension 5 is going to come to me, okay? That's our toll-free number. So go to p4l.net, and you'll be able to get to us on that toll-free number, okay? And it is 1-800-719-3085. 1-800-719-3085, okay? All right. All right. Okay, let's keep the questions on what we're doing right now. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's check out some of the questions that have came over the here. Okay. How to get help on finding loads and pay the 2.5%. All right. How that works. Kim, this is a question from Kim Adam. I'm assuming you're asking, how does that work? All right, our platform is a networking platform. That's what we are. We are a networking platform. We are the first and only, well, not the only one. Charles Monday now has a networking platform, and but our platform is the first networking platform to feature what we call network monetization and subscription monetization. By the way, the new load board that we're coming out with, which is a collaboration between myself, Charles Monday, and another one of our partners, Mr. Kerry Glickstein or Glickstein. Okay, we're putting together our networking load board, and it is going to feature what's called subscription monetization. Now, what is monetization? Monetization is for people who are part of a network or part of a subscription-based plan, and you're able to profit. You're able to profit from your networking, or able to profit from your subscription base. Okay, everyone who is a member, everyone who is participating, will have the ability to make money by helping everyone else. Not just make money from finding loads and booking your own freight, but you'll be able to make money by helping everyone who is a member of that network, or everyone who is paying, everyone who is a subscriber to that network will have the ability to make money by helping each other. Okay, I know it's a kind of a far-fetched idea, but that was brought to me by a billionaire. I lie to you not. Some of you all don't know my story, some of you all do. But I'm going to go into my story. I'll tell you a little bit about my story, then I'll tell you about the monetization and how that works. When I was homeless, 2008, 2009, I was homeless. Right here in Tallahassee. I was staying at the shelter. Here in Tallahassee, didn't have nothing. I mean, when I tell you I was down, I was down. I was homeless, and if you don't believe me, you can look up online. There's a whole series online called Diary of a Homeless Entrepreneur, Calvin Butler. That's me. Okay, it's about 140 videos online. You can Google it, you can Bing it. It's on Blip TV. We had our own radio show out and everything. It's called Diaries of a Homeless Entrepreneur. Where basically I just started recording myself and started, telling people that I was going to start my own business from a homeless shelter, and I was going to document it and see how far I could go with it. Okay. So, but while I was homeless, I used to go down to a little park here. There was a little park here. It had like a little water spout and everything. I used to go down to the park, and I would get up early in the morning, about 4:30 in the morning, leave the shelter, go over to the labor hall, see if I can find any work. If I didn't find work, by 6:30 or 7 o'clock, he wasn't going to get one. So if I didn't find work that day, I would go back to the shelter, grab my laptop, go over to the little lake in the park there. Okay. Every day, I would see this older, kind of straggly-looking guy wearing a house coat and some house shoes, and he'd be out there every day just feeding the ducks. I thought the man was homeless. I admit I prejudged him, and I thought he was homeless like me. So we used to talk, about business. I tell him about my ideas and stuff. Just somebody I had to talk to. I just need somebody to talk to and tell him about my ideas. So I would pitch my ideas to him. And he would be like, oh, that sounds good. He'd make little suggestions to him. Well, why don't you think about this or that, this and that, this and that. So for about 4 months straight, at least 3 days a week, I would go down to that little lake. That guy would be down there, and we talk every morning. We talk every morning. I went down there one morning. Here it is. A little later on, I went down there, and he was no longer there. I didn't see him anymore. I said, well, yeah, maybe he's, sick or whatever, this and that. Then for about, another month or so, I never saw the guy again. So I was like, man, I hope nothing happened to the guy. I hope he, didn't wind up dead somewhere or off on the side of the road or whatever the case may be. So fast forward, 2 years later, I've gotten a job. I've started my parts for less business, and that was when I first started that, and now I'm rehashing it. But I've started my parts for less business. I'm doing pretty good. I've gotten a job as a night auditor and a manager over at the Holiday Inn Resorts here in Tallahassee, Florida. And I was over there, I was working there one night, and they was having a convention for cruise ships and hotel and vacation resort, the owners. Okay, they was having a owners convention. So I'm sitting there, it's about 11:30, 11:45. I'm at the front desk, and this Maybach pulls up. Beautiful car. This Maybach pulls up. A female driver gets out. She's got a hat on. She's her black outfit, everything with the bow tie and the white shirt and everything. She opens the door, and this tall gentleman gets out. He's lean. This tall gentleman gets out. He looks like he's wearing about a $20,000 suit, and his beard and everything is so manicured and shaved. I mean, it looks like someone just drew it onto his face. That's just how perfect he looked. He had on tag watch, and everything about this guy said money, right? He comes into the hotel. He comes up. He said, "I'm Mr. Barbosa. I'm here to sign in, whatever this and that." And I look him up in our registry. Mr. Barbosa, one of the owners of what? Carnival Cruise Lines and Hotel Resorts, Jamaica, and all this. I'm like, wow, a bona fide billionaire, right? So I'm like, okay, Mr. Barbosa, how you doing? We have you in suite such and such. And we're sitting here talking. And he looks at me and says, "Have we met?" I go, I don't think so, sir. He says, "Your voice sounds very familiar. I'm pretty sure we've met before." I said, "I think I would remember you if we had met, Mr. Barbosa." He said, "Okay." So we're sitting there talking, this and that. And I'm checking him in. He says, "Look, are you sure we haven't met?" I go, "I don't think so, not that I can recall." He goes, "Because I normally don't forget voices, and you have a very distinctive voice. I'm almost positive that we have met before." I was like, "No." He said, "Well, how long have you been working here?" I go, "I've been working here now for about 3 or 4 months and everything." And he said, "Well, what you do before this?" I said, "Well, I got my own little business I got called Parts for Less, and before that I was homeless." And he was like, "That wouldn't be Parts for Less pick and pull prices without the pick and pull, would it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I was like, "No, I don't." He said, "We used to talk just about every day a few years back at the park, right here in Tallahassee. We used to come down, we talk about business." And I'm thinking to myself, "Sir, I apologize, but I thought you was homeless." He said, "No, I'm not homeless. I'm far from it." Now, mind you, this is a true story. This is 100% true. He said, "No, I'm far from it." He said, "Well, I see you got your business started, and this man said, 'Looks like you're doing better.'" I said, "Yeah, I'm doing much better than this and that." And we sat there and talked for about 10 or 15 minutes, about business or whatever, this and that, and how I got it started, and what direction, and all the things that we had talked about and stuff. And then finally he said, "Look, I'm going to share something with you. And what I'm going to share with you is the secret that every billionaire knows. Is that every self-made billionaire knows this secret. Every self-made billionaire has employed this method to earning their billions. Because as you know, becoming a billionaire, that's not easy. It's not easy going from nothing and building something that generates $1 billion consistent. And if you've ever wondered how that's possible, it's done through basically one method. And every self-made billionaire has employed this method. Because I'm not talking about these billionaires that get their money from mom and dad and it's passed down to them from generation to generation. I'm talking about hard-working men and women who start with nothing and they grow to become billionaires, like Mark Zuckerberg, like Bill Gates, like myself, like Oprah Winfrey. All these people employ the exact same method. And they don't share it with everybody because only a few people are going to get it and going to understand it. Okay? He said, and that secret is this. You have to find something that you can create yourself. And in doing and in creating it, it's something that you're probably going to put everything you got into it. You have to put, your time, your money, everything. You have to sacrifice for it. You may have to wind up going broke and going back being homeless again just to be able to pump money into what you're building, because when you finish and you get it built and you get it to the point to where it's repeatable and where it's earning money and it can be repeated, you got to do the hardest thing you're ever going to have to do. And you're going to have to give it away. You're going to have to give it away to others. You have to give it away to them freely. This is the very thing that you done worked hard for, you done sacrificed for, you probably went back to being homeless for, you probably lost friends, family, loved ones. You lost everybody because you was so dedicated and pumping everything into this. And you had to live a certain way that they didn't want to live, so a lot of people are not going to be able to stick around with you. So you're going to lose friends, probably going to lose, close friends, loved ones, and things like that, all because you're trying to build this one thing that you're trying to build that's going to create some type of repeatable income. Now, once you get that done, you have to give it away. You can't pimp it out. You can't sell it. You got to give it away. And the return is you're giving it away with the condition of whoever you give it out to, they have to agree that when they go out and make money with it, they come back and drop you off a piece of it. They say, now, if you doubt if that works, take Bill Gates. When Bill Gates came onto the scene and he introduced the Internet Explorer, there were AOL, there was Netscape, and all these people were charging you money to get onto the Internet. They were charging you money to use their browser. Okay? Bill Gates comes along, he starts his own browser, Internet Explorer. They ask him, how much are you going to charge for it? He says, I'm not going to charge you anything. It's free. His investor said, are you out your mind? He goes, no. It's going to be free for everybody. Anybody who wants to get on the Internet, they'll be able to get on it and not pay a dime for it. Okay. Well, what about all this software you're giving? All the software you have, like the Microsoft Word and the PDF stuff and all that type of stuff. How much are you going to charge for that? They're going to be able to download it for free. Really, Bill? Okay, so you done spent all this time living in your garage, developing all this stuff, and now you're just going to give it away? Netscape is charging what? $29.99. AOL is charging $9.99. And you're going to just give yours away for free and the software with it? He goes, yeah. We're going to give it away. Now, people thought he was crazy. Bill Gates is now the richest man on the face of the planet. $73 billion strong. Has more liquid on-hand cash than anybody else on the face of the planet. True story. Mark Zuckerberg, he came along. He built Facebook. At the time, they had all this other stuff, MySpace and Black Planet and all this other stuff. Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook. Said, how much you going to charge to get on? Mark, he said, nothing. What? Okay. All right, we'll go with that. Okay, we'll go with that. Well, how are you going to make money? We'll make money. Don't worry about it. If we get enough people onto it, we're going to make money. They say, well, what about, the stuff you got over here now where you can make phone calls right there on Facebook? Sure, you're going to charge about a minute on that or something, or some type of access fee, right? Nope, it's going to be free. Really? Okay, well, what about this thing when you got now where you can send money through Facebook, and you can take payments for stuff and this and that. What are you going to charge for that? Nothing. It's going to be free. Well, what about going live and being ready to broadcast live on Facebook and have people to create their own pages and their business pages and use Facebook's platforms to build all this stuff and make money from it? They're building these pages, they're having all these conference calls and everything. Well, you got to charge something from that. He goes, nope, it's going to be free. Mark Zuckerberg is $58 billion strong right now. One of the richest men on the face of the planet. All from giving away free stuff. Now, this billionaire, he explained to me, he said, look, I promise you, if you want to create real wealth, if you want to create lasting wealth, if you want to create repeating wealth, use this method. Use the giveaway system, okay, or some form of it. He said, you may have to build a couple of different platforms and test platform or something, but eventually you got to come up with something that fits that giveaway system to the team. Okay, and believe it or not, that's a true story. That's a true story. Okay, now the question you're asking is this: how does the 2.5% work? Our platform is set up so if you help someone, let's say you got a carrier or someone has a carrier stuck in Alabama, because you're part of our network, you're part of our back office, and you're part of our private chat groups on Facebook. If you've got a carrier that's in Alabama, he wants to come to Florida, but your carrier has given you a profile sheet, the carrier says, I need $2.10 per mile. You're looking everywhere, you can't find a load for him. Well, you come to the chat group and you put it in the chat group, I have a carrier stuck in Alabama who needs $2.10 per mile to come to Florida. Does anybody have a load that fits that criteria? He's a flatbed. Everybody who was in that chat group who was looking at your what's called will then have the ability to start looking for your load. When they find your load, they're going to give it to you. Okay? When your carrier runs that load and drops that load, and it's time for you to get paid on that load, you're going to pay the person who found you that load 2.5% of the load fee. That's why we suggest you all charge 10% on your dispatch fee to your carriers. Okay? Because if someone else assists you in finding a load, you're going to pay them 2.5% for helping find that load for you. So now you can actually make money by helping other people find loads and not just depend on booking loads yourself. Also, if you have a load board that you have access to that we don't have access to or that the other members don't have access to, let's say a DAC or something else or whatever you may have, if you decide you want to share that load board with any of the other members or access to it, or if you want to take that load board, you want to present it to us for us to put in our back office. Anybody who books freight from your load board, who is a part of our network, if they book freight from your load board, guess what? They're going to owe you 2.5% because they got that load from a load board that you gave them access to. That is the basis for our monetization on our new load board that we are developing. Everybody who is a paid subscriber to that load board. By the way, if you are a paid monthly subscriber to this platform, you will automatically get access to that load board free of charge. It is included with your subscription to our platform now. So if you're paying the $19.95 per month to access this platform, when we launch that load board, which is going to be $29.95 per month to which is going to be the basic subscription to that load board. If you are paying a $19.95 subscription to this this platform, you will automatically get access to that load board. Okay, and that load board will feature subscription monetization. We are estimating that we should gather about anywhere from 5,000 to 10,000 members to that load board, and that's a real conservative estimate. Okay, that's what we're planning on for the first year. Everybody who is a subscription paid member of that load board will have the ability to make money by helping anybody find loads on that load board. You see how that's a game changer? If that load board will basically, everyone who comes to that load board will have to agree in order to be a member of the load board, they would have to agree to pay 2.5% to anybody that helps them find a load. Okay, so they go in there and they reach out, because there will be a networking side to this load board. Just like we have our private chat group, the load board will have a private networking group, a private chat group there, where you can go into the network and you can put in, hey, I'm having trouble finding a load, this is what I need. They put it out there, everybody on that load board now can start helping you find that load. Whoever finds you that load, guess what? You're gonna owe them 2.5% of their load fee when you run and get paid on that load. It doesn't matter if they're a carrier, if they're a dispatcher, if they're a broker, it doesn't matter. If they're paying a subscription to the load board, they are participating in the subscription monetization. Okay? Hopefully I was able to explain to you how that 2.5% works with our system. Okay? Now, no other platform is doing that. No other platform has that feature. All right? All right. Let's see some other questions here real quick. Hope I was able to answer your question on the 2.5%. All right. There's no says I need help finding carriers. Go back and go to, if you're looking for carriers, okay, if you're a back office subscriber, you're looking for carriers, go to where it says load boards, and you're going to look for this right here. This is what you're going to look for. You go to the load board area, you're going to look for that little right here. You're going to click on that link right there. It's going to go over here. You're going to click on resources. You're going to go over here. You're going to look where it says search trucking companies. You're going to click right there, and you're going to go over here, and you're going to click, what state you want to look in. Let's say Arkansas, the great state of Arkansas. Let's go over here. You're going to pick 1 to 5 trucks, because you want to pick those small trucking companies that have 1 to 5 trucks. And you're going to go over here. You're going to click interstate carriers. Why? Because you want the loads that can run from state to state. And you're going to click search. And in the great trucking state of Arkansas, you're going to get 3,809 results. All these carriers. All these owner-operators. You're going to click, just pick one, you're going to click on it. When you open it up, it's going to give you all their information. It'll tell you the number of trucks they got. One truck with this guy, they got 1 driver. That's the perfect guy you want to be with. Why? Because he's 1 driver on 1 truck, and he probably needs to make some money. It gives you the MC number and DOT number. Gives you all the information you need to know about him, all that contact information. You call that guy up and hit him without pitch. Tells you about the insurance. Tells you about the inspection reports. So, finding carriers, problem solved. Okay? If it's carriers you want, it's carriers you can find. Finding carriers, problem solved. Go back, review some of the videos. Go back and look and scan through the videos on our video library. Okay, scan through the videos on our video library, and look for the one that says finding carriers or locating freight or locating carriers. Okay, that's how you find carriers. Okay, we don't have a problem with finding carriers. Not in our platform. Okay, we give you access to every carrier listed in the United States. You have access to them, very quick access to them. Okay, all right. Let's go to some of the other questions we have here. You're welcome. Got some other questions we have here. Some other questions we have. Now, I would pray you all come on and ask the question, because then people know I'm not just making this stuff up, but they can't see what you all are typing to me. So if you have a question, open up your mic and ask the question. Don't be shy. We only got about 15 minutes left. So if you have a question, open up your mic, ask the question. Introduce yourself and ask your question, okay? Let's see here. Go through some of this other stuff. What's the difference between each other? Got that one. Does anybody have a question they want to ask on the mic here? Okay, I wanted to talk more about the authority without trust, but this was a wonderful substitute topic. Okay, authorities without trust. Okay, we went over that last week, if I'm not mistaken. So if you go back and you watch last week's video, we went over that, I think, extensively last week, if I'm not mistaken. It shows you how to not just start your own trucking company without trucks, but it tells you how to set it up, how to make money from it, where to go to get your authority, how much it's going to cost, and all that type of stuff. So if you go back and watch last week's video, it's going to go through all that. But real quick, if you want to get your authority, just go to 1 Hour Authority. Look it up, onehourauthority.com. That's where you're going to go. You're going to go to onehourauthority.com. When you get to onehourauthority.com, you're going to look for your authority. You're going to click on where it says authority. Matter of fact, let me put it up here. Onehourauthority.com. I think it should pull up. Oh, shoot. Didn't give me the whole thing. Oh, there you go. 1hourauthority.com. All right. onehourauthority.com. This is it right here. Go to onehourauthority.com. You're going to look up your authority. You're going to give the US DOT number, MC number, freight broker, passenger authority, hot tub, hot shot, whatever this and that. All right. So you're going to get you're going to go ahead and you're going to pull up your authority. You're not going to do a freight broker authority. What you're going to do is you're going to do a carrier authority. That's what you're going to do. You're going to do a carrier authority. There it is, motor carrier authority. So you're looking for the MC authority. You're going to get a motor carrier authority. That's what you're going to get. Now, you can get just a USD number, the basic package. What you want to get is the complete package. Okay? Minimum. You want to get the complete package. It's going to run you about $629. You can go all the way for the gold package if that's what you want to, but the complete package will do. Okay? So, but you want to go and get that right there, at least that right there. Okay? Then you can add this other stuff if you want to after that. Now, once you got that authority in your complete package, then you want to go out and you want to just start having carriers to come in and sign on to your authority. Because you have the authority, they own the trucks. Now, you're probably saying, well, what about insurance? How am I going to get insurance if I don't have a truck? Well, what you want to do is you want to make a deal with the first person that comes on and sign on with you. Okay? Now, so this is getting to teaching you all how to think like an entrepreneur. Okay? You got to be able to think like an entrepreneur in this business if you want to make the most out of this business. All right? What you do from there is when the first person comes on and says they want to sign the truck onto you, you're going to make them a deal. You're going to go in, you're going to make them a deal. You say, look, I need someone with a truck that I can list that truck as a company truck. In other words, I need you to list your truck as a company truck. In order to do that, I'm going to make you a partner in my company. Now, your partnership is not going to be a full partnership. Your partnership is going to be, a limited partner where your truck is now listed. Why? Because you are one of the owners of the company. So your truck is now what? A company asset, which means what? Whatever insurance you have on that truck, now we can use that as the insurance for what? The company. Okay? Now, in that deal, you may say, well, you know that we pay our carriers 73 1/3% or 80%, whatever the case may be. But because we are using your truck as the company truck, as a company asset, right, for the insurance, you get to keep 1% of your load fees. Or you get to keep 90% or 95% of your load fees. Or you get 80%, 85% of your load fees plus 1% of the load fees of all the other trucks that we bring on. You see how you can work that and make that attractive to whoever decides to come on with you first, or if you know someone that you want to bring into the business and they own a truck. There are ways that you can work this business in all different types of things if you start to thinking like an entrepreneur and not just like, a guy that owns a truck or driving a truck or, booking freight. You got to get on that next level thinking and to be able to figure things out and be innovative with things and make things happen that you need to make happen. Okay? And from there, it's a cakewalk. You put out your advertisement, you're paying more than anybody else is, right? If you allow your carriers to keep 80%, 85%, 90% of the load, right? You should get quite a few people signing up with you. And just sit back and just collect your percentage. I hope that was able to help you out there. I hope that was able to help you out. Yeah, yeah, Shantae. Wow. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff up here in my head. my wife tells me all the time. Look, I have what's called an autographic memory. It's not a photographic, but it's an autographic memory. My wife tells me all the time, you got a whole bunch of useless stuff stored up in your noggin. how you know so many different concepts, so many different ways to start a business, run a business, or create a business, or whatever. She said it's just, but she loves me. No, she loves me. Question. Someone has a question.
Hey, Calvin, this is James Nelson.
Hey, James.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of piggyback on that too. As far as getting that MC number and bringing carriers on board.
Yeah.
If you can convince that driver to go ahead and let you use this information and his insurance, you have to remember that those carriers have to carry their own insurance, so it's not going to be a liability on him.
Exactly. It's not going to be a liability on him because if you own your own truck, you got to have your own insurance.
Absolutely.
You just have to have that initial truck and insurance as an asset to be able to set yourself up as a carrier lease. That's it. And that's how you can do it without going out and buying a truck.
And I'll tell you another thing that may help to increase that business. If you are a carrier or a set up in that way, you're able to buy additional trailers. And a lot of times you have guys that have power only but don't have a trailer.
Exactly.
And you can also lease them for a monthly fee or a weekly fee, that trailer be able to run loads with and still make money off of that lease.
Exactly. That's what I mean by being innovative. There's a man who has an innovative mindset, and he's looking at the big picture and all the different ways that he can profit from that one idea. But he's not just thinking just one dimensional. He's looking at all the different aspects of creating a profitable business.
Right, and
that
doesn't cut the dispatcher out, because even if you're dispatching those drivers, those loads, you're still going to get your 10% on that dispatch.
Yeah. Look, there's enough money in this industry to go around. For the life of me, I can't understand why brokers don't like dispatchers. Why most brokers don't like this, I can't. Go figure that. A dispatcher doesn't cost a broker one dime, but a dispatcher can help a broker out 100%. so to me, that's the perfect ingredient for my best friend. You know, if I'm a broker, someone that's going to help me book more loads, make more money without costing me any more money. I'm going to dislike this person? Does that make sense to you? And the reason why that is because most brokers don't understand the legal role of a dispatcher or the legal definition of a dispatcher. They're looking at these illegal dispatchers who go out there and post loads, who just shotgun loads like they do. That is illegal. Let me make something very clear. If you are a dispatcher, you cannot post loads to load boards, to social media. You cannot shotgun loads out. You can't post loads. You can find loads for your carrier that you are contracted with, and you can present the loads that your carrier has specified that he needs to that carrier and that carrier only. And you can contract with as many carriers as you can service. So the reason why most brokers don't like dispatchers is because they lump all dispatchers in the same pool. They are really mad at those dispatchers who are operating illegally. But if you are following the guidelines of the statute 371, 49A through C, then you are a legally operating dispatcher. If you're following those guidelines on the 49A through C, which is the exception to a freight broker. The only exception to a bonded freight broker is a bona fide agent, which is also an independent dispatcher. Okay? There are so many ways that you can profit from this industry, okay? And this platform, we serve to try and open your minds and give you the access to the tools and resources and everything you need to do that at one small fee, $19.95 a month. We don't, look, if you join our platform, You enroll, become a subscription member, and you go out from using our tools and resources or calling into our private consult line if you're a subscription member, and we consult with you and we help you start your own trucking company where you can go out and lease trucks on, help you start your own dispatch division, and you make $1 billion a year. How much money do you owe us? $19.95 a month. That's it. You owe us $19.95 a month. That's all part of that giveaway that billionaire told me about. Okay? Because you may look at that as $19.95 a month, but our goal is to have 100% of our members paying a subscription. Think about 1,700 plus members all paying $19.95 a month. Would that not make me a billionaire? Of course it would. Would that not make our members millionaires if they follow all the things that we have for them to follow and give them all the access that they need for $19.95 per month? Of course it would. That's the beauty of the giveaway. That's the beauty of that system, of that secret that he shared with me. That's the thing that when he said that most people are not going to be able to get it. That's why a lot of the other freight broker trainers, they don't get it, because they can't see themselves giving away something that they've sacrificed for, that they've sweated for, that they've lost things over. They can't see themselves just giving that away for a small amount. They got to get what? $1,800, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for all up front, because they want theirs. They don't care if you get yours or not. They want theirs. That's the difference. Now, I'm not talking bad about it. That's just their business model. And if they can get it, more power to them. I wish them all the luck in the world. But as far as our platform and the people who are collaborative with us, we all practice that giveaway system, because we believe in it and we understand it and we see the results from it. We see what's happening. If you don't think that it's not working, ask Charles Monday, ask Jason Sonatag, ask Mr. Washington, ask Mr. Gutierrez. It works if you practice it. If you follow the system, if you work the system will work for you. All right, we're getting close to our time, and I do apologize that we're not able to get to all the questions, but we will look at some of these questions, and we will try to develop our next week's show towards answering some of the questions and things that you all have brought up. But I do want to say thank you to everybody. We can't go over that 1 o'clock time frame. That 1 o'clock, 1:15 time frame, because I can't get. Matter of fact, this place is booked to us for that time frame. We have to have the doors back open, because this is part of the overall complex. They just lease it out to me for 3 hours every Saturday. So I want to say I appreciate each and every last one of you all. I thank you all for joining us. We're sorry that Facebook, the feed went out on us and we're not able to get the whole show. This show will be put up in about 2 hours. The premiere will start probably in about 2 to 3 hours, so look for that. It'll be on Facebook, it'll be on YouTube, where you can tune in to the premiere of this particular show, and then after that, it will be available for everybody to see, for worldwide, for everybody to see if you want to log in and do it. Thank you all again. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you all coming in and joining us. Thank you to all of our in-house members. We appreciate each and every last one of you all. I see what you all are doing on the chat groups. I see the feedback that you all are giving. You all are doing a great job at helping each other. I really appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining our platform. Remember, if you want to get the full access to what we do and all the things we offer, go ahead and become a subscription member. Reply back to your registration or your enrollment email. Please subscribe me. Or send me my subscription invoice, and we'll send you out your invoice, and then your $19.95 monthly payment will start 14 days later. Y'all have a great day. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next week. Same back channel, same back time. Y'all have a great day. Bye, everybody.